Hello, everyone, and welcome to Swim or Sink 35. I'm Shads, joined today by Skepidillions. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Shads?
It has been a great day, and I am looking forward to some awesome Squid Game matches tonight. Like our very first one.
Awesome. This would be Turtles Under the Sea versus Splatsune Miku. Do any of these players look familiar to you, Shads?
Okay, so Tent Turtle is a tent player, as the name would suggest. He was on License to Krill for a bit. I don't know if they're still on the team right now or not. I think I might have seen an FA post by them a couple weeks ago. Ozzy, I want to say, is on Symphony. I believe he plays stuff like CVS, K-Shot, Player, Splatsune, Miku, Omega, I want to say the Carbon, and Mary's an Octotop player. Not sure about that though. We are going to get straight in with Splat Zones on the Reef. And we do see CDS and Tent coming out from Turtle and Ozzy, respectively. Omega does have the Carbon. Mary opting for the NZEP. Ace going with the K Pro. And surprisingly, a Blobber Deco for the last member of Splatsune Miku. Meanwhile, we have a Knot and an NZEP on the side of Turtles Under the Sea. And Turtles Under the Sea already taking down two members of Splatsune Miku. Omega's going to get one, but she's going to jump straight into a 2v1, gets taken out by that Knot. So 3 down for Splatsune Miku right off the bat. That is not what they want to see.
I see the Splatoon Miku is looking like they're trying to get specials. I'm not surprised at all by the Blobber Deco. It is a very wonderful Blobber map, especially with the Suction Bomb Rush. It's very useful to cap zones. But it does look like Turtles Under the Sea is better able to hold their special utility and maintain control of the zone. Does look like
a complete wipe, courtesy of, I believe, the Blob and the NZAP.
That Blob is showing their worth here on Splat Zone's Reef. And it looks like Splatsune Miku is able to take control of the zone and push further down. The question is whether or not they're going to be able to take lead from Turtles here, as they do have armor and another special. If they're popping that armor now and probably pushing the zone.
Yeah, 2 specials coming out from the side to counter that armor bow, on that being their own armor and a Booyah Bomb. But you notice that Turtles Under the Sea did not actually use the other 2 specials that they had to really push in. Ozzy did eventually end up popping the rain, but they went in straight with armor, which is something that you see a lot of the higher level teams do that you won't see lower level teams do. They'll push in with the armor only, rather than trying to chain it with 2 or 3 specials.
Splatsune Miku is able to wipe down their penalty here with the zone, getting it all the way down to 15. Turtle is trying to make a rush for that zone, but it looks like they are going to go down. Splatsune Miku really needs to pull off a miracle here with that K-Pro in order to maintain control here.
Yeah, especially since they do have the ability to put mines in the zone with that camo tent. Mines in the zone heavily underrated, in my opinion. Nautilus does go down on the side of Turtles Under the Sea, so the zone will get neutralized. Whether or not Splatsune Miku is going to be able to take it back in complete control. Ozzy having to run away from that Booyah right into the K-Pro, but manages to get the kill anyway. 1 down on each side of the map. As the zone gets neutralized again, Ozzy doing a really good job to try and at least keep it neutral or green vote for Turtles Under the Sea.
Yeah, Turtle is able to cap the zone there. It looks like that one member was able to do it all by themselves. They're pushing up into their opponent's plat, though. The question is whether or not they'll be able to lock them out. Their best opportunity here is to lock them out and disengage from that zone.
Auto Bomb Rush out. Omega really having to fall back, though. Not what we want to see from a Carbon. They do best on the front lines, and 2 down on the side of Splatsune Miku again. Turtles Under the Sea fully done with their penalty. Points taking it down. The zone does get neutralized, and 1 member of Turtle Under the Sea does go down. But at least 1 member of Splatsune Miku, had to jump out, which is just as good as them dying.
Can apply pressure on the zone from many different areas of the map without engaging there in plat. So it looks like they might be able to keep things neutral for a little bit longer, but Turtles Under the Sea no longer has a penalty, and they could easily pull lead here if they're not careful.
Yeah, 2 go down on the side of Splatsune Miku. They do manage, the Blob does manage to get the Knot, But then Turtle comes straight in with it, hammer, and just wallops them. Turtles Undersea taking game 1 of this set. A very convincing knockout.
Absolutely, absolutely. It went back and forth there for a hot minute, but Turtles does manage to secure the victory. Congratulations, Turtles. And it looks like we're going off to TC Schellendorf next. How do you feel about that map mode?
I hate it.
I actually am a pretty big fan of TC Schellendorf. It's wonderful for the silver arrow spray. I'm very curious to see if anyone will pull it out.
I don't think we'll see a silver arrow spray. If we were going to see a silver arrow spray on any map, I would guess it would be on Skipper Zones, and I'm pretty sure that map got yeeted from the map pool.
Oh, what a shame, what a shame. Well, I'm very curious to see what comps these two teams bring out.
Schellendorf Institute is very good for Stingray. It's long, it's thin, you can chase people into alleys. So I would not be at all surprised if one team does break out a C-Jet, probably given the fact that we didn't see like a heavy remix or a charger from either team. I would guess that probably they'll pull out a C-Jet if they're going to pull out a Stingray weapon. Turtle, I'm guessing, is going to pull out a K-Machine, since I believe that's what he normally runs on tower control.
Interesting, interesting. I'm really curious to see if we do end up with missiles here. They are very useful for clearing checkpoints. However, Schellendorf, there's lots of cover, overhead cover from those missiles. So I'm very curious to see what type of comps these two teams pull out.
This might be a little bit funky, but I would like to see a Rapid Blaster. Some sort of Rapid Blaster.
I love me some Rapid Blaster.
The roof is low enough that a Rapid can really harass people that are hanging out on the edge, particularly backlines. It's very good for getting them away from the edges.
Oh, it looks like we're coming out here with a Knot, K-Slosh, CDS, and NZAP. And the Blobber is sticking around on the other team. That's fantastic. I actually don't think Splatsune Miku had any significant comp changes here.
No, it's a completely identical comp. Meanwhile, Turtle Undersea, same comp, aside from the fact that Turtle is now running K-Machine instead of the tent, which makes sense. One down on the side of Turtle.
And the Knot and the Zap already go down. Wow.
Yeah, Turtle is in a good position here. Oh, but that splashdown gets canceled by the Carbon. Very, very nice cancel. So Splatsune Miku is going to take the lead pretty early on. But the first checkpoint is pretty much the easiest one to clear on this map. Really, if they want to get this to a good lead, they want to clear the second checkpoint. That's going to be key.
It does look like they're taking a significant amount of control here, even though they're in a 3v4 and their backline is down. Let's see what they can do. Oh, another one goes down. K-Pro goes down. So in a good opportunity, the tower is heading back to mid. It doesn't look like either team is going to pull a significant lead here.
Yeah, Omega did a great flank there, and if two of her teammates hadn't died, it would have definitely paid off. She's going to have to jump out away from back lines. Interesting to note, she did not jump back to the spawn pad, she jumped to a teammate. That's a much better way to jump out, in my opinion. It's less travel to get back into mid. She's going to hang out on a roof to harass people over on the left with that auto bomb rush. Both teams right now currently poking at each other. 3 specials online for Turtles Undersea. Make that 2 as the armor gets launched.
That Blobbler is being very threatening with their bubbles on that left side. And it does look like they're going to have to definitely pay attention to avoid it. Oh, Blob goes down. What a shame. What a shame. They were keeping a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of Splatsune Miku. Can Kelp get a third? The Blobber has respawned. Looks like Kelp might be going for Omega here, but that's going to be risky. Kelp's going to choose the safer option to fall off from the roof.
And an armor.
That will definitely help them get through the first checkpoint.
Absolutely, absolutely. Splatoon Miku is 1 down, being the K-Pro. That Carbon is definitely going to have to put in their work, being the most aggressive member on the team up.
Yep.
And the Carbon goes down. Ooh. 2 down on the side of Turtles, 1 down on the side of Splatoon Miku, and it looks like the tower is on its way back to mid.
Turtles did, however, clear half the checkpoint, which is more than Splatsune Miku has done. And given how stall he seems to get around the second checkpoint, that could be enough to get them the game. It is not over yet, though. Splatsune Miku going on the offensive. The auto bomb rush comes out. The Booyah bomb comes out as well. Weeabomb not gonna find anyone, almost barely misses killing the Knot, but Turtle is down. The Knot is weak, almost to that Inkjet bow, which is going to be a very useful special to have. 2 down on the side of Splatsune and Miku as they keep trying to push this tower forward, and the Inkjet comes out, so we'll have to see if the Knot will be able to get anyone, and he does.
And it does look like that push is dead as the tower is heading back to mid. Great use of specials there from Turtles. And the end zap goes down on the side of Splatsune and Miku. They are on their way towards having specials. All of their members are above 70 on the special count, and the first one to have it is the Blob. That Suction Bomb Rush is going to be very useful for harassing people on the tower, especially when it's in mid to take map control.
Yeah, but the K-Pro does go down, and that Booyah Bomb is definitely going to be the most instant application of pressure that Splatoon and Miku has available to them. Because Bomb Rushes can be avoided, and they have 2 of them. Great for clearing people away, but also easy to avoid. And right now, they really need to get a good 2 down, 3 down situation, because Turtles has their left area of mid all locked down. Omega not sadly able to find anyone, just barely missing the burst bomb, it looks like there. And she is going to go down to Turtle, who was pushing up with the Nautilus in Inkjet.
That Carbon really is trying to pull their weight, but Turtles is all the way up near their base, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take that tower away from Turtles anytime. Oh, just as I say it, Splatoon and Miku does manage to pick up that tower. They're going to have to pull a miracle here in terms of their paint in order to take control of the left side in order to be able to secure a push here. And they are on their way up there. We do have someone harassing the tower. One goes down on the side of Splatoon and Miku, but this push isn't completely dead. They have 20 seconds left on the clock. 4 members up on the other side and growing special utility.
Yeah, they really got that 3 down situation right when they needed it. But 2 down on the side of Turtles. They just need to hold on a little bit longer, just barely taking the lead.
Wow, what a fantastic push from the side of Splatoon and Miku, turning a disadvantage into an advantage and managing to take lead there in the second match of our first set here at SOS. What a fantastic match.
Well, it's not over yet because we have one more game.
Ooh, either team can take it here. Let's see what happens. How do you feel about Clamblitz on Starfish main stage?
So personally, I'm a backline. Am I fond of this map? Not really. Will I suffer and play it anyways because you can't really enjoy Clamblitz without a little bit of masochism in you? Yes. And given the concept these 2 teams are running, I think that we'll see a very competitive, action-packed ink flying match. We're going to see them poking at each other. We're going to see them harassing each other. I would expect to see Turtle to go back on that tent.
Longest range that they both had here were the Knot on one team and the Blob on the other. Neither of those are truly traditional backlines. They tend to float between mid and back, but it is interesting to see for these hyper-aggressive comps.
Yeah, obviously of the 2 long-range weapons that they're running, the Knot is the more meta of the pick, but it is nice to see the Blob getting used.
Absolutely, absolutely. I myself am a Blob main, so I love to see some Blob.
I would also argue, as some people in the chat have been saying, Knot isn't a backline. It fills the anchor role on a team. But it is really more of a midline.
Oh, absolutely. My apologies. I was really referring to its range there. But definitely, the Inkjet does make it super aggressive.
Yeah, we're readying up in the lobby, so I think we're just about ready to start. So here we go. This one for all the marbles, or, well, clams. Clamblitz on Starfish main stage. We can see no change again to the comp for Splatoon and Miku. Meanwhile, on the side of Turtle Under Sea, Turtle going back to the tent, this time opting for the vanilla variant. So, no hammer, but he's got bubbles and beacons, and that is a pretty good kit.
Both of these teams are very confident in their comps, and that's very nice to see.
Yeah, it is nice to see when a team runs the comp because they're comfortable with the weapons rather than adjusting it based off the stage. 3 down, 4 turtles under the sea really quickly though. Omega getting the 4th one down. Very, very nice kill there on Turtle.
Splatsune Miku is managing to get the goal below 50. They have a 55-point lead in the first push, and that's pretty significant, but not unbeatable for Turtles to push around.
Yeah, the thing with that is that they have a 27-point penalty now, so it's going to take almost 2 full power clams to get any points on the board.
Absolutely,
So
and Splatsune
really
Miku is one down.
It's really going to make any sort of second push just be harder to get points. 1 jumping out on the side of Splatoon Miku, 3 down on the side of Turtles Under the Sea again. Kelp being the only one up. He's gonna try and stop that ball, but it's not gonna happen. Delayed wipe for Turtles Under the Sea. They're really feeding in.
Yeah, Miku is almost entirely able to clear their penalty here, and they are managing to push their lead down to 74. And it keeps going. They are not letting this push come to a close.
Yeah, it is just really, really unfortunate, those 2 3-down situations for Turtles Under the Sea. But, important to note, 3 did go down on the side of Splatoon Miku, and although 1 is down on the side of Turtles Under the Sea, this is giving them an opportunity to get back into mid and get map control. That knot is going to benefit from map control, and likewise, the Carbon is not nearly as lethal without that map control. If they can keep Splatoon Miku down, that will help a lot. But 2 go down right as I say that, make that 3, slightly delayed of course, and not only really 1 up left in mid at the moment.
Yeah, it does look like Turtles is holding on to that power clam for dear life as they try to make their way over to the opponent's base.
Yeah, it really does. And I do think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have had several unfortunate 3-down situations, but also because, oh, that's a great flank there by Omega. We saw her jump down from the right attic.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. Omega is flanking, the Blob and the Zap together are providing all the paint that Omega needs for control. Paint that they weren't really able to have the other 2 maps.
And Turtles is still 1 down, so the opponent with 4 people up is physically able to outpaint them and maintain control of mid. It does look like Splatoon Miku is going in here for another push. They have the power clam, but they don't have specials quite yet as their Carbon goes down.
Yeah, they're gonna have to back off there. Blob does finally go down, but we can see that 3 people on the side of Splatoon Miku down. So that is going to be Turtle Under the Sea's big opportunity, but they need to make 1 monster push here.
Yeah, absolutely. With 22 clams and 1 person going down, they really have to pull off a miracle as their tent goes down in their opponent's court, and they have 11 clams.
Make that 3 down on the side of Turtles Under the Sea. Even as 1 person does hang around by Splatoon Miku's basket, Turtles is just going in alone. They are not playing together as great as they were the other 2 matches, and they are really suffering for it.
Absolutely. Splatoon Miku is able to cancel that entire push.
Now we can see here Omega trying to get the jump on someone. Unfortunately for her, it is the 10, so she does manage to get him, but it's effectively a trade. 2 down on the side of Splatoon Miku, and they lost both of their Slayers, which is going to hurt.
Absolutely. With 40 seconds left on the clock and both teams having 13 clams, it would be a miracle here for a Turtle to be able to pull this around and get in their opponent's base.
Oh, 3 down on the side of Turtles, though, as Omega's going for fall-off on those tents. He does manage to find him. 1 down on the side of Turtles Under the Sea as Splatoon Miku readies another push. The final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Splatoon Miku is just really keeping up a significant amount of pressure here on their court, getting another push, and they have 9 penalty points left to clear as 2 of their members go down, but there are 7 seconds left on the... 3! Wow! 7 seconds left on the clock, 3 seconds left on the clock, and it does look like the match is coming to a close, and the basket closes.
That was just unfortunate for Turtles. So much just staggered respawns, and feeding in. I don't think that's probably not what a lot of people expected looking at the rosters for the two teams. I mean, looking at the two teams just on the rosters, I would have personally pegged the Turtles as the one to be winning that. So it is really great to see such a good upset.
Absolutely. Splatsune Miku does take the set.
The first set, 2-1, Splatoon Miku's favor. Turtles not out yet, though. We still have 2 more rounds of round robin play, I believe it's called. Groups? Yeah, groups. And then we will go into brackets. I don't know if a round 2 match is ready.
All right, well, we will hang on here for round 2.
And so we will take a very, very short break. Don't go away. SOS will be right back.
Hello,
everyone!
Welcome back to Swim or Sink 35. The next set here we have is Tunaverse versus Offbeat Performance. We are very much looking forward to this. How is everyone doing?
We are totally not looking forward to this because Tunaverse is IPL's Popgun's very own wife's team, Mrs. Popgun.
Oh, we got some family connections here at IPL.
Yeah, so we have Mrs. Popgun. Everyone loves Miss Popgun. She's great.
Absolutely. And I do want to congratulate Dan E. here, who's competing today, for winning the most recent Low Ink this past month. I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, he's coming fresh off that nice win that his team got. It was definitely one of the best grand finals we had for there.
Absolutely. What a fascinating set to watch. Really two sets, one after the other.
Yeah, it was just, I was in the stream for that, and it was hype.
Absolutely, and it looks like our first match is going to be Anchovy Rainmaker. What a fantastic Rainmaker map. How do you feel about this one, Chads?
This one is fun.
Certainly full of surprises, that's for sure.
I mean that in a good way. It's great for bamboo. I would love to see a bamboo here. I'm biased. We like the bamboos here.
I also like my blob here, so also biased. And wonderful, it does look like Dan E is bringing out that Octobrush, living up to his new name.
Yeah, Danny is playing as Chara 2.0, and he is using the Kensa Octobrush. You can see that there is also a hammer on the side of Tunaverse. So both sides have a hammer, the Octobrush and the Sploosh 7. Backline battle finally showing up. The Sea-Jet versus the Charger. So both sides also have a Ray. Both sides also have armor, courtesy of those two gray NZEPs. And then finally missiles on the side of Tunaverse versus Bubbles on the side of Offbeat Performance Center. Tunaverse is going to grab the Rainmaker first, but only manages to move it up to 83 before their carrier goes down. But oh, interesting trade there.
Wow, I don't really know if they went down in the Rainmaker pop or to the hammer.
The Rainmaker pop got it.
Oh, wow.
So the Rainmaker pop got the Tunaverse member, and the hammer got the Offbeat Performance Center member. And Offbeat grabbed the Rainmaker courtesy of a very, very nice 3 down on the side of Tunaverse for them. But 2 down on the side of, make that 3 down as that hammer comes in again on the side of Offbeat Performance Center. But still, they have to push up all the way to 38, which is a respectable number on this map. Not in the range of guaranteed win, but
38 is a very beatable lead on Anchovy.
Yeah. Ray comes out, 10 missiles come out. We can see that 7 is charging up another hammer. Sploosh is going to get that very quickly, but oh, 2 down on the side of Tunaverse, thanks to that bubble blower, and then the Squeezer picks up the 3rd with the main weapon for a nice 3-down situation.
Absolutely. And they are painting up on their court here, preventing their opponents from reaching mid. That would be a wonderful opportunity to be able to get that Rainmaker push. And they are pushing, following that hammer as closely to the goal as they could possibly make it, pushing their lead to 34. They are not letting up with these pushes here, getting them as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah, but 7 comes in with another good hammer. That's the 3rd one that we've seen from them. Getting, I think it's Sprinkle. So 7 definitely putting in work. Miss Popgun now grabbing the Rainmaker. 1 down on the side of Tunaverse, and the Ray is out, and that is deadly. 3 down now on the side of Tunaverse. Make that a full wipe, so this is really Offbeat Performance Center's chance to get another good push in.
Yeah, Offbeat Performance is not going to let up here, and they have excellent mid control. They can essentially just keep pushing this into Tunaverse's core and never allowing Tunaverse to really take true control of mid, let alone their own core.
Yeah, now if they wanted to be a little bit cheeky there, they could have taken the right fan. The very far right fan. 3 down on the side of Tunaverse. Make that a delayed wipe. The Charger has respawned.
Absolutely, and they are
they're
managing to take an even bigger lead here, getting all the way down to 5, but the question is, can they KO? And the answer is no. Tunaverse is able to put up a good defense and prevent Offbeat Performance from getting that knockout.
But it is not over yet because the squeezer is still in their base. They can really jump to that. Tunaverse opts not to reset the Rainmaker, which really isn't what I would do there. I would just dump it off the side, given that at least one hostile person is in their base still. But they're going to drop it over the edge of the drop instead. Squeezer's still on the far right of their plat by the arcade.
And one goes down on the side of Tunaverse. Offbeat Performance has another chance here to get a nice push into Tunaverse's court here. And Tunaverse has yet really to get the Rainmaker out of mid with a minute left in the match.
And we saw the armor fly over to the left, so I would guess somebody is flanking through that fan. 3 did go down on the side of Tunaverse. The bomb does find a Rainmaker bow. Very well-placed bomb there. Not sure who that came from, either Swoosh or Charger. But Cowgirl is just going to grab it and take it in for the knockout for Offbeat Performance.
Yeah, the first match goes to Offbeat. Tunaverse never really had an opportunity there to get it out of mid. You can't even see a speck of orange paint in Offbeat Performance's court.
Now, Offbeat Performance just utterly dominated.
Absolutely,
Look at those kill counts. 14 for the Squeezer, 12 for the NZev. Granted, that is probably buffed by assists, but still. 12 respectable. 5 armors, very respectable. And then double-digit kill for the Octobrush, I think it was as well. So,
and that's Rainmaker. You really do just have to be aggressive and create your own opportunities there and use them as quickly as possible. Offbeat Performance did a great job there.
Yeah, and that aggression that they're showing definitely will help them in Splatzone's Maker Mart. Teams don't like to push up in Splatzone's Maker Mart. They like to sit on the enemy box and stack, and they like to maybe lurk underneath the enemy drop, but they don't push up into the court. They don't push up around the left where the ink line will take you over. Or two. They don't like doing that, and you can really easily lock people out on makeup if you do that. So I would love to see Offbeat take that same aggression from Rainmaker and apply it here to Splatoon on Mako.
Absolutely. You really can get a significant portion of lockouts here on Mako Mart if you outpaint your performance and simply prevent them from dropping off into mid.
I also would like to see an E-Leader here. Not because I'm biased, even though I totally am, but E-Leader has a good amount of reach, and you can actually hit a good chunk of the opponent's spawn from standing on their box. Tunaverse is playing more passively than Offbeat Performance Club. If they want to lean into that passiveness on this map, then having the E-Leader definitely benefit them because they can pick off Offbeat Performance Club as they come out of spawn without having to push up as far. I don't want to say because I'm totally biased and love E-Leader, but there are practical applications too.
Mako Mart is notorious for having these hyper-aggressive comps, so I am curious to see where Offbeat Performance can push their aggressiveness to punish Tunaverse for their passiveness.
Yeah, it is possible.
They're really going to have to put up a good defense there.
Later, so I am hoping.
Bring out the snipes.
Yes, bring out the snipes. We do like the snipes here.
Absolutely. Very entertaining to watch. And the match is starting. Let's see if we see any snipers. Ooh, and we do!
Later, I am so happy. And we also see a Firefly, which is also a classic choice on this map, but I see an E-Leader, so I am very, very happy. We see double Object Shredder on the side of Offbeat Performance. That's going to definitely help with any armor that Tunaverse manages to put out. We also see, looks like a Fling Roller. I don't know if that is the missile one. I think it is. You see the TTW already under siege from that E-Leader's reach. The tent is also down on the side of Offbeat Performance Club. Tent and Roller make that 2.
Yeah, Tunaverse has an opportunity here to cap the zone, and they do. The question is, can they paint up quickly enough to lock out their opponents?
Yeah, that Bomb Rush will be able to help a little bit, which is one of the reasons why Firefin is so good in zones in general, but especially on this map. But one down on the side of Tunaverse already as the tank comes in from the right, and he already has Hammer ready. Oh, it looks like PCW got caught in his teammate's missiles.
Ouch, what a way to go out.
But the tent does go down, no hammer, and Tunaverse does have armor ready for pushing in.
Absolutely, and Offbeat's Performance does currently have control of the zone, and they are weaning down their penalty, increasing their lead. Tunaverse does have an advantage here in terms of their man advantage. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to cap zone. Offbeat Performance does hold that and continue to increase their lead.
Yeah, they're going to neutralize it here and maybe even get a cap. Oh, looks like the E-Leader got that Tri-Splasher.
Wow,
and they are coming out just in time to save that E-Leader from the knots, but not before Tunaverse manages to recapture the zone. Just as quickly, though, Offbeat Performance is flipping it back in their favor, and Tunaverse is being forced way back.
Absolutely, Offbeat Performance does have one down, but so does Tunaverse. It looks like the battle is happening in the court instead of happening in mid. Tunaverse definitely needs to be able to shift those battle lines towards mid to have a chance at engaging with the zone.
Yeah, and that's really hard considering that Offbeat has a tent, it has an E-Leader. They can pick them off or get straight up in their face without having to worry about dying. The hammer is out, armor comes out as well, but a nice yeet there taking out that inkjet. That's just for style points at that point. They do sacrifice the zone because 3 gets down. The Top Gun cleans up the zone.
What a fantastic play. Just imagine taking out an inkjet with a hammer. That's going to take some serious coordination. And Miss Popgun does go down to the Tenna missiles.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of Tunaverse. Make that 3 to Tri-Splasher squash between 2 as Offbeat Performance Center is just pushing up again and again. You can see Dialga hanging out on the right stack, the opponent's stack for Offbeat Performance Center, and he just has full control over the entirety of the zone. But as I say that 2 do go down, he is forced to back off. Tunaverse will take the zone again.
Tunaverse did a fantastic job at re-engaging with that zone and working their way up without getting picked. They were able to provide a significant amount of paint pressure to be able to work their way up safely.
Yeah, the hammer does get taken out by the Tri-Slosher, and the E-Leader is respawning, so he'll be probably somewhere up on the top left. The Top Gun is going to charge armor. Tunaverse's penalty is gone, so they are steadily accumulating points. The missiles do come out, so I'd expect we are going to see a push sometime soon. The knot does go down on the side of Tunaverse. Inkjet will not be online for this defense. The specials are all coming out now from Offbeat Performance Center as they recapture the zone. This Top Gun is running, but she just gets chased down by 2. The yeet gets her in the end.
Offbeat Performance does manage to retake the zone. The lead between Offbeat Performance and Tunaverse is not that significant as there are a minute left in the clock. They are managing to take down their penalty. They can manage to KO here, but Tunaverse does have a lot of special utility on their side if they choose to use it.
Yeah, but 3 are down. The only one left is the Charger, and the Charger's not going to be able to outpaint all of them. This will be a KO and a 2-0 victory to Offbeat Performance Center.
Fantastic win there. Went back and forth a good amount of times, but they were able to outpaint their opponents and lock them out with that hyper-aggressive comp.
Yeah, and really good example there of what we were talking about before, getting up into the opponent's spawn area to right over by the stacks. Really, that's the best way to play Mako zones. The optimal way, I would say.
Absolutely, and it is a map that does favor those aggressive front lines, so it was wonderful to see Offbeat Performance take advantage of what they know on that map.
Yeah, so Offbeat Performance does take the set. However, we still do have tower control, Sturgeon Shipyard. Tunaverse might be able to claw some points back.
Absolutely, you definitely want to be able to turn this into a 2-1 situation.
And it is possible. Tower control, the objective is always moving. It kind of lends itself to kind of encouraging teams to push up with the objective.
Absolutely, tower control is a different beast, and Sturgeon Shipyard does favor those long-range weapons and buckets.
Yeah, buckets, good here. Long-range weapons, good here.
Very curious to see what both teams pull out.
I would guess Probably if Offbeat Performance is going to go the hyper aggressive again, I would guess probably we'll see the Sija. Otherwise, I could see it being a charger battle between P and PTW, and which in that case probably both of them would use the vanilla charger.
Interesting, Battle of the Chargers.
I don't know if we'll see a tent here. Tent traditionally is not very good on tower control. You can make it work on some stages, and with the right comp, but it's tricky. I could see the K-shot staying. I could see the foil flings staying. In all the confusion, I didn't quite catch what Taro was running. Well, Taro 2.0, Danny, was running. I would guess he was the Flingza. And he took pretty long to level up, so not level up, ready up, so I'd assume that's probably some sort of switch.
I would love to see some blasters come out here on tower control.
Oh, we see D is keeping the E leader.
Both teams opting for an Octobrush here.
Yeah, difference is Spicy going with the Autobomb Inkjet Octobrush. Danny going with the Hammer and Suction Bomb Octobrush. Also on the side of Tunaverse, we can see that there is... I think those are vanilla Dually Squelchers. So those have Missile and Point Sensor. And the Tricluster do both with Splat Bomb Rain. So no armor on the side of Tunaverse. Meanwhile, on the side of Offbeat Performance, we have the Squeezer back. We have an orange NZAP, which isn't a pick that you see a lot. And then, of course, the E-Leader and the Octobrush. And already the Octobrush is all the way up in Tunaverse's base.
Absolutely, and they managed to clear the first checkpoint and the second checkpoint, and it looks like they're working on clearing that third.
Yeah, 33, great number for Sturgeon Shipyard.
Especially for a first push, with only a minute having passed in the match.
Yeah, 33, great push. I could definitely see them extending it, though, especially if they continue to play as aggressively as they have been. Which, I mean, you'll have to see. Ray is out on the side of Tunaverse. Doesn't look like it's going to find anyone or really chase anyone away.
One down on the side of Tunaverse, and it looks like if Offbeat Performance does choose to do so, they can push that tower again. They have two specials, but so does Tunaverse, having one, but the Octobrush goes down, taking that special out with them. Dan E here with the triple rushing into the opponent's base, and Tunaverse is wiped.
Yeah, his teammate stole the Claude from him, and then Danny's gonna come up straight up to the spawn point. He's gonna go down to a couple members of Tunaverse, but it delays him enough to get through that last checkpoint. Offbeat Performance Center getting to 15.
Yeah, that is quite a significant lead here for Sturgeon.
Yeah, that is what I would call safe territory.
Absolutely, they can really just focus on locking their opponents out at this point.
Especially because Tunaverse hasn't touched a single checkpoint yet, or the tower, in fact. They're gonna have to go for it soon, though. The match is half over. You see D here pushing way up on the opponent's spinner. That is really daring for an E-Leader. It is not a good close quarters weapon traditionally, since there's no more burst bombs on it. So pushing up that much is really, really daring. Two down on each team, so will they be able to make anything out of this push? Will they be able to get the lead a bit higher?
They are refusing to abandon this push, even though at one point they did have two down.
And they do. They chuck off another 10 points.
Hot diggity
dog. Definitely doing some work there with the Octobrush. Does get the jump as it jumps in. Looks like he's going to try and get Danny, not able to find them. Oh, and Tricluster, unfortunate ball there.
Right into the abyss.
Yeah, Char 2.0 jumping down there to try and get the charger. Unfortunately, falling to the Dually Squelchers. Kind of a bait there, I would say.
Now, Tunaverse does have a minute left here. They're going to have to take control of not only lead, but the opponent's court if they want to be able to pull a win here.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard with the members of Offbeat Performance Center just coming into their court. See another one go down there. It's the Bubble Blower. 2 down on the side of Tunaverse now.
And the clock is ticking down, and Offbeat Performance is starting yet another push.
Yeah, they really want to get this tower in as close to 0 as they can. Because even if they do go all down here, that's an extra almost 100 ticks, essentially, that Tunaverse would have to push the tower. Because it's all that distance in Tunaverse's court, back to mid, plus all the distance to Offbeat Performance Center's court. So we see 3 going down on the side of Tunaverse. Oh. Looks like we are going to get a knockout here right at the very last minute.
Yeah, just fantastic use of the pressure that they were able to do. Not only pressuring mid, but all the way into their opponent's court and keeping their opponents practically in spawn.
Yeah, Tunaverse just couldn't do anything.
Hate to see it, hate to see it.
You really do, but sometimes that's how it goes.
It sure does. Offbeat Performance did a fantastic job clearing victory with that whole set. Way to go.
And Tunaverse did fight very hard. Tunaverse did make that last game last almost the entire 5 minutes. It could have easily been over in the first half of the match. And yeah, it did. So props to them for fighting hard and not giving up.
Absolutely. You do have to appreciate people refusing that KO for as long as possible.
So it looks like our next match is Twice versus Not a Project. Twice, if I remember correctly, is a low ink team. I don't know if I've seen them play as a team, though, in the most recent couple of low inks. I think they might have been, like, scattered in different pickups. I have no clue who's on Not a Project. I would have the roster. It's obviously a pickup of some sort. Oh, you know what it is? Twice used to be low ink eligible, but they've been banned from low ink because they're Div 4, and they got top 8 in sacks. I must be thinking of like last year, like last fall probably, because I know I have seen their name in low ink before.
I have seen Not a Project around as well, but I don't recall where.
Let me see if we can get the rosters. It could be that they're a new team.
Well, I mean, it would sound like that.
I mean, it would be a very tongue-in-cheek name.
Ah, it looks like the members are Latios, Brock, Litblue, and DLK. Did any of those names sound familiar to you? I've heard of Latios quite a number of times.
Okay, so Latios used to be on Phoenix Armada. Litblue, not sure. I've seen the name in solo queue. I don't remember what weapons he plays. Part of me wants to say Kunder, but I don't think that's right, or if it was right at one point, I don't think it's right anymore. Brock.com, now that's an interesting name. So Brock.com used to be on License to Krill, which, as people remember from a couple matches ago, Turtle from Turtles Under the Sea also was on that team. And as far as I was aware of, though, Brock had retired. So
License to Krill is DivX, aren't they?
Wasn't who DivX?
Oh, I was asking, License to Krill is DivX, aren't they?
No, they were like Div 2.
Ah, I see.
Like maybe a couple of seasons ago they were Div 1, but in the most recent season I believe they were Div 2.
Oh,
but I am surprised to see Brock's name because I'm pretty sure he retired.
Well, welcome back, Brock. We're looking forward to seeing what you can pull off.
Yeah, it's a very, very pleasant surprise.
And it, chat is saying that Brock came back a few months ago.
Yeah, which makes me happy. Brock is actually the one that helped me with my first E-Leader build, believe it or not.
Oh, we love those connections stretching back.
Apparently, the Japanese name on all the projects is Chase247. I don't know who that is. I'm very sorry, Pony.
Chase247 is a Dark Tetra main.
Oh, we like Dark Tetra mains here.
Absolutely, and he's a fantastic player to watch.
So there's a couple of +3 members in the pickup. And then Twice, good team. Obviously, as I said earlier, banned from Low Inc because they're too good. The one tournament you want to be banned from. Top 8 in SAC. Div 4, not sure how they did in the most recent Ludi season or if they played, but this will be a good match. And we're gonna start off on Clan Blitz Piranha Pit. Wrong series, wrong franchise.
This is not Kelpdom, thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness. I don't think anybody would like to play Kelpdom clams.
Yeah, Clan Blitz Piranha Pit. That's going to be interesting. This is going to be quite a dynamic set, because then we're followed up with Rainmaker Snapper and Splatzone's Manta Maria. All of these are very, very fascinating maps.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not fond of Clan Blitz Piranha Pit. But that's a personal thing. I just don't like it. I think it's because I usually lose on it.
Absolutely, it's very easy to get locked out there, especially if you feed by jumping off near your basket.
So we're gonna get straight in. I hope to see a bamboo here, and I see a
we
bamboo
do.
Meanwhile,
Living up to his name.
Meanwhile, on the side of Not a Project, we have Latios, Chase, CLK, and I didn't catch the junior's name, but we do see GOOL.
It is interesting to see those GOOL come out after how they did in that Japanese tournament recently.
Yeah, there's been a few dedicated GOOL players, like Dylan, the streamer, if anybody knows about him, but not a lot. It's definitely not something you see a ton. Meanwhile, on the side of Twice, we see a Kentagal, which is a very popular pick right now. We see a Soda Slosher, which is really good, and already with not even a minute in, Twice getting Not a Project down to 59 points remaining, plus a nice 20-point penalty. Flat Bomb from Lip Blue, the junior main, coming in, really good one member of Twice.
Absolutely, and people are going down back and forth as both teams struggle to take control of mid here. It does look like Twice is, they are holding a power clam, but it is really the only portion of clams that they have up. They have 5 clams somewhere scattered out throughout their members, and I'm guessing most of them are being held by that junior.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of... oh, sorry, Not a Project is the one doing those pushes. Not a Project already down to 27 points remaining. They got a nice double power clam push in there to completely eradicate that penalty. 1 down up on each side makes that, well, the junior winning that fight. So complete wipe on the side of Not a Project.
Absolutely, and Twice is trying, does pick up that hitty, and looks like they're trying to take control of mid here and push towards their opponent's basket. But Not a Project also has a clam, and they are going to be defending that pretty well. 1 goes down, it is the Glugas. But both teams are really in a stalemate here, fighting for mid.
Yeah, and the Kentagal went down, which is unfortunate for Twice, because they're really going to be depending on that Booyah Bump to help them force their way up towards Not a Project attack. Not a skill. You can do it with a combination of the Burst Bomb, Pentamissiles, armor, but it is much more difficult. You can see the armor coming out from Not a Project, 2 down on the side of Twice. They do manage to get a push into 54, though.
Absolutely, and they are out of clams at this point, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to hold that basket up any longer.
Yeah, but still, respectable push there. 54 remaining, nothing to sneeze at. You can see that they're Not a Project tossing their clams back and forth. The Charger is going to hold one of the power clams, very traditional. 2 down, make that 3 down on the side of Not a Project. As Twice is pushing way up. And it looks like LK is going to have to really back up here. That is not a good spot for him to be in at all, but he's going to wait for his teammates to get out of spawn before super jumping to one of them to preserve that extra power clam.
Twice is trying to make a push here, and they do manage to get their points down to 42. That is nothing to sneeze at. 42 to 21 is definitely a negotiable lead, and Twice has a chance here to pull lead for sure with 1.5 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, can you see they were juggling those two power clamps for a little bit to get an extra pity from the basket after it closed. One down on the side of Not a Project, one special on the line. They gotta be careful though. One member of Twice is flanking over on the left with that Inkling. Bomb Rush coming out now from the Charger to try and get some paint. They finally noticed that Inkline is occupied, and it looks like that the Bomb Rush managed to get that flanker anyways. Missiles out on the side of Twice, one down on the side and on the Project. Make that two. Really, Twice needs to take advantage of this and up hard if they want to get another push in. They do not have a very large penalty, so they can definitely chew through it, but they only have a minute left remaining, and down on the side of Twice again versus one down on the side of Not a Project. Looks like they are going to push up and really see if they can get another push going here.
Absolutely, and look at that map control. Twice does have a significant portion of the map completely covered.
And
Not a Project is really
bamboo.
going to have to paint up.
That just makes that bamboo deadly. The Slosher does go down, though. Make that two down on the side of Twice. The bamboo is really stacked up. Never mind, he is dead. Lip Blue underneath that basket as the super jump with the clam comes in. There's only 18 seconds remaining. Twice needs to stop the bleeding, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Knockout in favor of Not a Project.
What a fantastic final push there. Not only clearing that penalty, but getting the KO with, I think, only 15 seconds left on the board.
Yeah, there's about. Because when they opened the basket, it was 18 seconds left.
What a fantastic final push. They could have really just waited there and hung back waiting for the timer to tick out, but they decided they wanted that knockout.
We'll have to see if Twice can take things back, though, on Rainmaker Snapper Canal.
Rainmaker Snapper, what a unique map. I certainly really love this map. How do you feel about it?
It's a good map. If they keep the bamboo here, it could work. Charger can work. Interesting thing about this map, Pop isn't as valuable because you don't paint that much of the map with Pop.
Absolutely, you really want to be able to force your opponents back into spawn here before you even attempt to move that Rainmaker. You do have several paths though. You can push it through Sneak, you can push it through Plat, or you can simply brute force that thing towards their spawn. Very curious to see what they do.
We unfortunately see a DC.
Well, we're just going to hang on a little bit longer and wait for them to get back.
I don't think we'll see anybody use the Sneaky to push the Rainmaker. That is a very fraught path. You have to walk with it, and the Rainmaker is the heaviest weapon in the game.
Absolutely.
So I don't think we'll
it's very
see anybody go that way.
And you really lack opportunity for a follow-up there through Sneak. Your teammates have to work very hard to keep up with you.
Yeah, it's like, if nobody is there, if like everybody is over on the left side of the map for some reason, and you take the Sneaky through right, then I could see an argument for a push through Sneaky, but I don't think we'll see one, especially considering the level that these two teams play at. I could see people flanking through Sneaky to try and surprise the enemy backline, or anybody that's just chilling out on the snipe there, but I don't think we'll see a push through there.
Yeah, there are lots of unique positions to push the Rainmaker here, and the Rainmaker has plenty of mobility here. You can swim up their snipe, you can jump across from their goal, you can go around through the backside behind their spawn. You have many, many options here with Snapper Canal.
I would imagine that they'll be trying mostly to push up, just straight up from mid into court, the old-fashioned way. Go by the tarp. It's the fastest. It gets you the most points the quickest. You also don't have to worry as much, I would say, about people just having the high ground on you as you would having to take it all the way over left. There's a greater height discrepancy over on the left, and that can make it hard to sum up the walls. At least, even though you still have that height disadvantage, taking it through mid, straight into spawn, you don't have to paint walls. You don't have to climb up a wall, and that does make it slightly easier.
It is the fastest way to score points on this map, for sure.
I would guess, though, that we probably, weapons-wise, will see the backline still. Range is very, very helpful on Snapper. I could maybe a couple of the members of Twice swapping over to longer range Slayers. I know we saw a bucket from Twice.
Maybe even some rollers there to take advantage of those ledges and that height.
A roller would be interesting. They would have to run a lot of paint for it. I think if they were going to run anything, it would have to either be the Flingza, probably the foil Flingza, the one with the missiles, or a carbon.
Both are very good options for rollers. There are plenty of places to be able to camp here and take advantage of range, though, so you can pretty much just wait for the Rainmaker to swim up to you and take them out from above.
Special Flies, if they went for like Rain Inkjet, that would keep out, or Missile Inkjet, that would definitely clear out the left, especially the upper areas of the left if they were to push that way. Booyah Bomb instead of the Inkjet also helps. I don't know if a Bomb Rush would be the greatest. I know sometimes people will run Fire Fin over Vanilla Charger on Rainmaker, but Bomb Rush can be kind of wonky on this map, especially considering how much of mid is blocked off.
Yeah, you do have to fight to get those bombs over mid, for sure, but you can take advantage of it if you jump while throwing them. You can very easily throw them over that mid part where it is blocked. I do it myself all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if we have... Looks like we do have everyone back in the lobby. No DC. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything crossed.
And the match is going to be started. Rainmaker Snapper.
So we can see a Sea-Jet. And okay, yeah, it's a Sea-Jet. 2 Sea-Jets. I got worried for a minute and thought that I saw a V-Jet.
That would be a very interesting choice for Rainmaker.
Yeah, it would. You can see one down on the side of Twice. So both sides have armor. They both have Stingray. Then we have
2 down on the side of Twice. Not a Project is going to be able to take a significant portion of mid here.
Yeah, and that is really helpful. You can see that D is getting into position to Stingray. We can see the other team's Stingray is out. He's going to find that Ray, but not before it kills his teammate. 2 down on the side of Not a Project, but make that 2 down on the side of Twice as well. Also, interesting stick here. Do have light Tetra dualies instead of dark Tetra dualies. Usually if you see Tetras, you'll see the dark version. But this one has Sprinkler Auto Bomb.
I'm guessing that's from Chase.
Probably, most likely. And then Octo shot with the Inkjet that we mentioned earlier on the side of Non-Project as well. Make it, I was going to say 3 down, but 4 down.
Twice is white.
White on Twice. We could see a very quick knockout, but oh, such a well-placed bomb there. Kills the Tetra player as soon as he grabs the Rainmaker.
And they do manage to get the push all the way down here to 5, but that is really not good enough for Snapper Canal. 5 is a beatable lead. People do tend to be able to KO on this map, so they're going to have to fight for it in order to be able to take the win.
Yeah, Frost is going to go for a quick swim and reset that Rainmaker back to mid, but 2 down on the side of Twice. They do have the Booyah Bomb on line bow, which is definitely helpful. But D has his Stingray ready, so as soon as that other jet gets the Stingray, he's going to be ready to counter it. You can see the other jet really charging it up quickly. He's got it now. 1 down on the side of Twice. The Stingray is out. Both Rays out. We have a Ray duel now. 2 down on the side. Make that 3 down on the side of Twice. The last member is over on the left, going for the Rainmaker. Is he going to come in and clean him up? Not before the Rainmaker goes down. Very good kill there by Frost on that Junior.
And it is a repeat of history, as Not a Project has this all the way, almost to Twice's goal. Both teams do have 4 up, though, so Twice can be able to mount a proper defense here, and they do manage to get 1 pick on that jet.
A commentator's curse.
As always.
Stingray out again. Jet gets Ray ridiculously quickly. They're going to let the Rainmaker reset, which is smart because it's way in Twice's base. And Twice gets the pop, so it looks like they're going to actually go. Frost will pick it up. He just uses his armor, so that's helpful. The Gal does go down on the side of Twice, so it's a 3v4. 2 specials. Make that 3 specials ready to go for Not a Project. The Ray is out. The armor is out. The Bomb Rush got launched somewhere, not sure where. Stingray does come out board side of Twice, but it's a little bit too late to serve as an effective counter, right? I don't think it's gonna get anyone, and it doesn't.
Yeah, Twice does manage to be able to push it into their opponent's plat, but 92. They're definitely going to have to be able to continue working for it as their K-Gal goes down and the Rainmaker resets. The Octostrut does go down as well, though, so Twice really will be able to push up here into the plat if they choose to do so.
That is important. Another raid, make that the 5th from Twice.
In
total, we have had 5 rays from Twice, 3 rays from Not a Project, and we'll make that 4 rays from Not a Project. 1 down on the side of Not a Project, though, but the Rainmaker does go down to the aforementioned Stingray. One shot going to try and pop that for his team. Not the fastest popping weapon, though. Does manage to pop it eventually. Junior respawned for Twice, 1 down on each side of the field. Really, this is a good position for Twice to have the Rainmaker in, but it looks like it's going to reset. One shot's going to have to pick that up, and he does. Not an optimal thing for him to have. It's one, it's stuck in between 3 people, and 2, he has no way to counter Ray that Ray from Not a Project. It doesn't look like that Ray is going to find the Rainmaker, though. One shot just managed to slip out of it, but it does delay them a lot, and that lets Not a Project get that game, get respawned. Auto Bomb Rush is out from the Dark Tetra Dualies as One Shot is just desperately trying to get some sort of pick for his team. 1 down on the side of Twice. Make that 2. He's going to have to go for it. There's 21 seconds left on the clock and 20 seconds left on a Rainmaker timer.
And he does go down.
He dives straight into 3 people.
Hey, he was being very offensive with that Rainmaker and definitely doing a good job of keeping the pressure up. Twice manages, Not a Project manages the amount of proper defense and take control of their own plat, getting a pick, and that would be the end of the match.
Yeah.
We are 1-1 in this set. That's fascinating.
No, it's 2-0.
Oh, my apologies. It would be 2-0.
Yeah, no shade on One Shot for diving into 3 people there at the end. He had no options. He had to go for it.
Absolutely. With 20 seconds left on the clock and 20 seconds above his head, it was time to make moves.
Really, at that point, the best thing he could have hoped for was he managed to get like a trade and then have enough of his team over there to pop the Rainmaker and pick it up, because they would have had no overtime.
What a fantastic match to see, and Twice will have their work cut out for them in this final match of Splatzone's Mana Maria.
Yeah, Not a Project just dominating.
Absolutely, especially with that Rainmaker match.
And again, Manta Maria, you can be very aggressive here. There is the sneaky that you can jump across to flank around and get to the opponent's bunker. If either Twice or Not a Project go with a charger, they can perch in bunker on the top right on the mass. A lot of the same things that we talked about with Mako Mart for E-Leader apply here as well. You can control a lot of the map from mid with E-Leader.
Manta Maria Splatzones is pretty notorious for lockouts as well, so it will be interesting to see who takes control first and who tries to put more pressure on the other team to keep them from engaging in mid.
Yeah, unlike a lot of other stages, you don't actually have to get all the way into the opponent's spawn to lock them out. You can camp effectively in the streets, in the bunker, and on the left and right plats beneath the drops, and lock the team out that way without even really having to stray too far from mid.
Absolutely.
Bombs are definitely useful here. Sloshers, rollers, good here. Aforementioned E-Leader, Hydra, if people favor Splatlings over Chargers, Blob, like you said. Nautilus, pretty good here. For specialized, Booyah Bomb, Pentamissiles, Inkjet. Bombers can be a bit funky on this map. Rain is good for chip damage. Armor's good on every map, so does that really count?
It's good on not only every map, but every mode.
Yep.
Though it will be interesting to see the shift in the meta as we are moving away from the Devil Armor meta towards possibly even a Tentamissile meta. So I will be interesting to see how teams, not only in this tournament, but the coming tournaments, change their weapons to handle the adjusts in everybody else's comp.
Thank goodness.
Are you tired of that double armor meta?
When something is so prevalent and powerful enough that running 2 of them becomes the meta, I think that is a bad balancing of specials.
You know, there is something to be said for that there. You almost wonder if Bubbler was better with Splat 1 because it wasn't global.
So we see an E-leader, which makes me happy. We see the Slosher.
And another sniper.
The Galugas come back, Firefin. Vanilla 96. I believe that's Sprinkler Armor. So, untraditional armor weapon on the side of Twice, but I do like it as a pick. It is more aggressive than a Junior or an NZAP. It will kill faster, and we can see he already is going to get the Splatter Shot variant. Not sure if that's a K-shot or an Octo Shot.
The Galugas were down at the beginning of the match, so when Not a Project engaged, they only really had 2 in mid when that third person went down.
Yeah, which is why Twice was able to cap that zone first. The E-leader is perched up in the mast area. Baller's away as the baller comes down from the Galuga. One down on the side of Twice. There is a tank on the side of Twice. Interesting pick. They're very good here, especially with all the walls. It can be hard sometimes to get a jump on the tent. You can't really strafe around it. Penta missiles coming out from the Slosher, as well as armor from the Gal.
Lots of specials coming out on both sides as both sides try to either maintain or put pressure on the zone. Twice is putting out a significant amount of pressure, but they are 2 down, and Not a Project looks like it's going to be able to hold it here. Twice falling back into their own street, and they do have a third person down.
Yeah, slightly delayed kill there on that Gal, which is good because it staggers the respawns for Not a Project. Well, good if you're Not a Project, bad if you're Twice. Kakarot with the Hero Slosher is going to try and find somebody with those missiles. Twice does have the hammer ready, which they can use to push in, especially since they have the ink armor. Oh, but the hammer goes down. Looks like the baller got him. Very nice there.
2 going down on the side of Twice. Not a Project is maintaining control of that zone. They only have 13 points left to clear, and Twice is really going to have to make miracle moves here in order to take this away from Not a Project.
I don't think they're going to be able to. 2 down on the side of Twice to cap it off. A 3-0 victory for Not a Project.
Wow, what a fantastic set on their end. Great job to both teams. That was a wonderful match.
Yeah, definitely the quickest match. And
absolutely.
We saw it is very easy to get locked out on.
It was Manta Maria being Manta Maria. And they also had a disadvantage going into that because their dualies went down within the first second, so they weren't able to really apply proper pressure on the zone in order to be able to begin that match.
Yeah, you have to imagine if dualies didn't go down, they would have knocked it out a lot quicker.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think that is our last group match. We have a couple of talking points, though, before we go onto our break in between groups and brackets.
All right. Well, it does look like Low Inc. is coming fast this month. This is a wonderful place for new and low-level teams to get experience against other teams. That tournament is on the last Saturday of every single month, starting at 1 p.m.
Although you can see by the calendar, we have a testing grounds coming out this Friday. There's a Reef Rushdown coming up this Friday. They are King of the Castle. That was last week. Testing grounds designed for North American teams. Reef Rushdown designed for Oceania. However, it's not a region lock tournament. Even if you're outside of the target region, you can still play.
Absolutely.
As always, you can donate to future IPL prize pools for those tournaments and other Inkling Performance Lab tournaments. We'll figure out some way to get that link into the chat in a minute. And we also have staff applications open. We are looking for additions to our production commentary teams as well as tournament staff. If you're interested in helping out in these areas, we have a form that you can fill out. If you're interested in more than one area, you can fill it out multiple times. we would love to have you join. We're always looking for people. So there is the form link, and I believe it's the link in that donate. Yep, there is donate.
And I would like to thank the staff at IPL. This is my first time streaming with everyone here today, and everyone has been so kind and so welcoming. So please don't be shy about signing yourself up to volunteer. Everyone does appreciate it, and it's a very welcoming crowd. You will be welcome here.
And the other thing we have to shell for real quick, Megalodon Cup, everybody's favorite shark, is back with Splatoon. It's another tournament to play in this month. It's a bi-monthly mode-specific tournament. It's open to players of all skill levels. And as we said, focus on the rank mode of Splatoon this month. It will take place on Saturday, July 17th at 12 p.m. EDT. Signups will close the day before, July 16th, 6 p.m. EST. So please sign up quickly. This Megalodon Cup also features an art prize for first place and 2 art raffles for participants. For more information about the tourney and prizes, you can check out this Twitter page. That will be all for us for right now. We're going to take a break. We're going to let the lovely staff members see the brackets. And then we'll be back later, so don't go anywhere. You're watching SOS. Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Great White Bracket of SOS 35. I'm Shad, joined again by Stadillions. And wow, we had a fantastic group stage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking to have an even more fantastic Great White stage here as we move on with Luau versus Licensed to Krill. What a fantastic set this is going to be. I'm really looking forward to it. What are you expecting from these teams, Shads?
Really, really, really good set. So Luau, former World Link champions, I believe they got second when we did the High Ink Invitational. And then on the other side, we have Licensed to Krill. We've talked about them before with Turtle. We've talked about them before with Brock.com. Now we have the actual team.
Wow, the team themselves, and we get to watch them. How lucky are we here at SOS to be watching this set right now?
Yeah, Luau does have a good Dynamo player. I believe they're still on the team. I'm not sure if they're playing. Doesn't look like they're playing right now, but we do see a roller from Drifty, the foil Flingza, cannon on the Pro, Thirst Hit on that Kenta Rapid Blast through the Crapid, and Dark Tetra Dualies. Meanwhile, on the side of Licensed Krill, we have Bronze on the C-Jet. He will be their backline. We have a Kentagal. Not sure who's wielding that. There is a K-Shot. Not sure who's wielding that as well. I believe the NZAP is being wielded by Mr. LGS. Drift
Absolutely.
in the middle. Yep, that right on the NZAP being Mr. LGS, and 3 down on the side of Licensed to Krill. And
Luau is beginning their push with excellent special utility. All of their members are about to have specials, so they are looking to apply a significant amount of pressure here.
Yeah, we did see one Auto Bomb go sailing out towards mid, and it looked like it was chasing someone, so it is awful that an LTK member is lurking in mid, trying to get a cheeky little flank off. Kentagal does break out the Booyah Bomb on the right fan. Drift is going to have to back off there as one of the shooters tries to kill him. Thinks with the NZ, got a little greedy. He goes down to someone. Ray is out. Drift trading, I think, with the Gal. And Cannon's own Booyah comes out to try and help Kami push up into the enemy spawn.
Absolutely. Look how painted and blue that area is. Luau is pushing, and they are pushing hard. One goes down on the side of Licensed to Krill, another goes down, and they are still on that tower. Ooh, never mind. That Flingza was just taken out, and it looks like Licensed to Krill might be preparing for a counter push, but another member goes down. Foil Flingza respawns, and the match is rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that was some good synergy there and teamwork between Surskit and Kami to take out the members of Licensed to Krill on that plat. Kami jumping in, of course, with the Tetras. Bronze, not finding anyone with the Stingray. However, we do see the main advantage of running a C-Jet, aside from the very fast Ray, is that it can handle close quarters fighting better than the other backlines between the Burst Bomb and the very moderately fast kill time. However, 3 do go down on the side of Licensed to Krill. Bronzy, the only one up. Luau swarming onto LTK's fan. Surskit pushing up, using the range of that rapid to really assault people. Bronze going down, no Ray for LTK, but 2 down on the side of Luau. They're still going to keep pushing, though.
Absolutely, and they do have a significant amount of paint coverage here. They are pushing up. The Rapid manages to turn into a baller, and they are applying even more pressure. Licensed to Krill does manage to get the tower at some point, and it is on its way back to mid, but Luau is still fighting for that territory, takes the tower back, and they are not letting this push die, taking out the K-Gal with them.
Yeah, Ace tried to go for a cheeky flank there. Didn't work, but 2 down on the side of Luau. LTK really needs to push up. Important to note, though, definitely not over. The second checkpoint has not been broken. And really, once the second checkpoint is broken is when you want to get worried. Super worried as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. There are 2 minutes left in this match. Licensed and Krill can absolutely take this match. They can paint up, get control of mid, and start pushing that. There's still plenty of time for them to be able to take a lead here.
As we say that, Bo, delayed wipe. 3 went down while Bronze was stuck in that Stingray. Kami, unfortunately, getting canceled in that splashdown there by a combination of the 52 wielded by Ace and the K-Shot wielded by Greg. He's pushing up now to try and stop Luau from getting this checkpoint. Very important. Booyah is out. Going to be chucked over on the right, kind of near where the first checkpoint is. 2 down on the side of Luau. The splashdown coming in from the Tetras. It looks like it got Greg. very impressive. Splashdowns don't often kill people.
Absolutely. Luau does use both of their specials, but Licensed to Krill is in mid. They are fighting for that territory and working their way up.
And with one down on each side, it is a very even match. They have finally managed to get one pick on the point. Greg and Ace going to really be pushing up. They're on that fan. They're using the Booyah. They're going to try and get onto this flat, but 3 down on the side of License to Krill. Once again, Ace is all alone, and he is pretty deep in enemy territory. So now he's going to have to jump back down into mid, and 2 people are waiting for him. He's going to get taken out very handily. Cannon pushing up now onto the plat. You can see Bronze trying to both get pinked onto their plat and charge at Stingray. 1 down on the side of Lua as buoys go down. Cannon's gonna Booyah bomb. You see Jet not managing to finding anyone. Roller down now on the side of Lua as one member of LTK is flanking around.
There are 10 seconds left in this set. Licensed to Krill is going to have to ride that tower if they want to force this into overtime, and Luau is going to want to do everything they can to be able to be patient here, stay alive, and simply get that pick on whoever's riding the tower.
They do have a certain amount of good things done, but as I say that, it is a wipe on the side of LTK, and that is it. 1-0 Luau's favor. Important to note, though, Licensed to Krill did actually have a good setup for a push there at the end. They got the Booyah Bomb down. They got the Rapid down. Those are the 2 members of Luau that would give them the most problem around the first checkpoints.
Absolutely. Luau does take that first match, and we are looking forward to a wonderful Clam Blitz at the Reef. What a great first match. Licensed to Krill never really got to fight their way out of mid there, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I do think that they can do it both. Important note, we don't know what these 2 teams have been doing between the matches. Maybe they were just chilling in League. Maybe they all went and got snacks. I don't know. It could be that Licensed to Krill is a little cold and hasn't warmed up yet.
Absolutely, absolutely. No one is counting Licensed to Krill out of this anytime soon.
Yeah. Columbus on the Reef. That's just gonna be interesting here. The roller definitely is helpful in mid keeping that bridge. One of the hard things with running a backline on this map is the fact that the bridge curves upwards. If Luau is going to swap in their Dynamo player, that could be very good here. The foil things up, also good here. Booyah Bomb, special. Obviously, it's Clan Blitz. It's going to favor stones.
Absolutely. More aggressive comps are definitely the edge here in Clan Blitz.
I don't know, we might see a bamboo. A bamboo could be interesting.
Well, hey, I would definitely consider a bamboo an aggressive weapon for its class.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why that was so popular on Clan Blitz. And it wasn't just because of the fact that you could 99 swing.
Absolutely.
Although that was a big part of it.
Hey, I honestly, people who manage to play the bamboo, you gotta worry about them. Those are skilled players.
So, there was a DC in the lobby on the side of LTK. It's not going to affect anything in terms of replays, but we did have to shuffle people back in.
Yeah, we are starting that second match as soon as we can, and it looks like we are booting in there.
No substitutions for either team, so unless the Dynamo player got a name change, I don't think we'll be seeing a Dynamo from Luau. Which is kind of sad. I mean, it's not often you see a Dynamo played, especially a Dynamo that's played well. And Luau's Dynamo player can play it very well.
Dynamos are very impressive when they are pulled off well. A very threatening weapon in the hands of the right squid. Or Octoling.
Yeah, people say impressive. I say scary, and please back up. I don't want to be near you.
Don't fight me, please.
There's a mutual agreement. They look one way, I look the other, and it's okay.
Absolutely.
But here we go. Slam Blitz on the reef.
The match is starting. Interesting to see what weapons everybody will pull out.
We see Splash-O-Matic, Kenta Machine, Carbon Roller. Very nice to see a Carbon. And NZAP on the side of License to Krill. So that is a heavy paint comp. Not a ton of push-in specials, though. You can push in with the double bomb rush, but it's difficult. They're really going to have to get the picks to help them push in. But I do like the sloshing machine choice, though. Very good for the bridge. Meanwhile, on the side of License to Krill, we have C-Jet once again. We have the Nautilus with the Inkjet, Pentamissiles, and Junior. So Armor, Inkjet, Missiles, Ray. More push-in specials, which will definitely help them get back into mid, which was something they were having a lot of trouble with last game.
Absolutely. It's always important to recognize when you're having comp difficulties, and when those difficulties are originating from your comp. The ability to change definitely makes a good team a good team.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of License to Krill, though. The Cannon coming in with the machine. He's going to pick off that at C-Jet.
His team is keeping that basket open for as long as possible. They have 3 clams, but they all go out at the same time. They do have more time to pick up more clams and keep that basket open for even longer. This could be the push that never ends.
Yeah, just about the 50. Drift, not sure if he'll be able to get any more in. He does pick up 4. He's going to go for it.
Oh, and he does.
Too. Very nice. But I do think that this push is over for Luau. But still, 44, excellent. The Ray coming in at the end, that really does kind of seal it off. 1 down on the side of License to Krill, make that 2 down. Tommy with the splash over on the left, painting up with those burst bombs, really making sure that the car area stays at least partially purple. That's important.
Yeah, you definitely want to be able to have a little bit of paint to be able to work your way up there and pressure that basket.
Oh, and Kami with a really good bait there on the K-Shot. Bomb Rush is out, tuck some bombs away. Interesting to see if we'll get a chained Bomb Rush. No, we won't, because Omega goes down. 3 down on the side of Luau. Oh, Kami there getting a little bit greedy between the Ray and the K-Shot there. Member of Luau over on the right. She's going to have to run. Splashdown not finding anyone. Does match the lane, though. Very nice.
Absolutely. License to Krill does have an opportunity here to paint up and apply pressure on their opponent's street over there, and that would be an awesome opportunity. They do pop Stingray. They have 2 other specials as well, and they go down after that Stingray. What a surprise.
Yeah, Cannon flanked around, basically walked in through street, and then doubled back over to the far left to the car area to get the jump on that Stingray, which is very nice. Not the easiest flank to pull off. Drift coming in now with the Pity Clam. But one member is down on the side to License to Krill, and Drift is damaged, so he's going to have to back off.
Yeah, he is giving away his location to every member on License to Krill, and there are 4 of them up, and 2 other of his teammates. He's really going to have to work for that in order to be able to score.
Yeah, and with that Stingray out, yeah, see there, he drops the ball. Unfortunately, dies to the Ray anyways. It's 2 damage to hold on. 3 down on the side of Luau, so this is really their big opportunity for License to Krill. 1 Power Clam goes into bronze here with taking another Power Clam, excuse me, if it's going to have 9 clams. He's going to try and get that in, but the members of Luau are respawning and they are coming in very, very fast. Just barely manages to make it in.
He does manage to score that. His team does have other clams. They might even be able to pull lead here if they manage to swim up or toss some more of those clams up. Ooh, and they do with 2 members down. Luau is taking this fight in mid while there are people at their basket with 33 points left.
Now, Mr. LGX did a very good job in luring the remaining members of Luau that were up over to the left tree area to try and get the kill, and it left the basket completely open, thus allowing I believe it was not to swim in and get 2 more clams in. Luau makes a very, very short push, not able to get any points on the board per se, but does manage to knock down their penalty. License to Krill did a good job there to shut it down, got a quick 3-down situation. Unfortunately, all members of Luau have respawned, and 1 member is down on the side. Make that 2 members down on the side of License to Krill, as 1 member goes down on the side of Luau.
Absolutely. Luau has their work cut out for them if they want to make this push after that last one in order to full lead here. They have 15 seconds on the clock. There are 2 members of LTK down. They do have an opportunity here with 13 clams, but they would really have to redistribute those. And it looks like they do actually manage to pull lead here. Fantastic. With 2 seconds left on the clock. That
Yes, barely. So we
just
do
barely.
have overtime, but they're not going to pick up that clam. They do still get it because it's a pity clam, but they have maybe 10-15 seconds at this point remaining to get something going, and one member is down, so they're just going to have to rush it in and hope to get that basket open. Bronze under assault by 3 people, and he dies as the time expires. 2-0 to Luau.
Luau does take that one, and what a surprise. Honestly, I was expecting LTK to take the win there.
Luau is a team that I feel like a lot of people, you either know of them or you don't. And if you don't know of them, then you sleep on them. License to Krill, I mean, they've been around for a very long time. Well-respected team. They've definitely earned their reputation as being a strong team. But if you're not familiar with Luau, I think you'll underestimate them, and then they surprise you.
Absolutely. Well, they certainly surprised me.
So it is the danger point now for LTK. A win still possible. But they need to reverse sweep, and they got to start that off on Rainmaker Sturgeon.
Yeah, and that is a very volatile map and mode.
Yeah, unlike other maps where there are multiple ways to get the Rainmaker to spawn, you can kind of have to pick one and go with it.
Absolutely, and Rainmaker is a mode where you do have to create your own advantages and use them very quickly, so License to Krill is going to have their work cut out for them here against Luau.
Yeah, if Luau manages to get everyone in License to Krill to guard, like, say, the right, and then they take the Rainmaker left, by the time that License to Krill has gone back over to the left and defended over there, it could easily be most of the way to a knockout and vice versa. This is one License to Krill is going to have to be very, very careful to not let that happen.
Absolutely. Well, no one is counting them out yet. They are here for that. And if they pull off a reverse, what a fantastic set this would be.
Yeah, we like our reverse sweeps here. It always is extremely hype to see the momentum turn the team that was down 0-2 backs against the wall, and suddenly they find that inner strength. And the one thing that was missing, maybe it was just a certain play or a certain weapon, or maybe it's just a matter of they finally got fully warmed up and they get that win, and did they claw that win back?
Wow, it looks like the match is starting. I personally am on the edge of my seat to see what LTK can pull off here. Pop off, everybody.
So, no change to... Oh, excuse me. One change to LTK's comp. We now, instead of having a knot, have a 52 gal. To the same comp that was used for the first match. Meanwhile, on side of Luau, we have the Tetras, the vanilla dually sculptures, so missile and point sensor, K-shot, and another Kentagal, so double missile comp, which is going to make Bronze on that Stingray not have a fun time. 2 down on the side of Luau as they take the Rainmaker over to the left, but the Ray finds the Rainmaker, just barely runs out before they can find Kami there on those Arc Tetra dualies.
Absolutely, that's a very beatable lead here. Like, we all know our Rainmaker and how volatile it is. 65 is frankly hardly a lead at all.
65 is chump change, but 3 down on the side of License to Krill. Bronze is just going to try and run that Rainmaker as far as he can get it. Not far enough. He wasn't going to get much of a lead out of that. Luau swarming on the top left, so they are telegraphing very clearly where they want the Rainmaker to go. Greg, unfortunately, having to drop there to deal with one of the members. A little bit of nice spectator lag there. He's going to manage to get the Rainmaker. Well, makes a jump. Unfortunately, Kami manages to pick him. However, Kami also had to drop, so not in the best position to grab the Rainmaker at the moment, or provide jump.
Look at Luau's map control here in mid. LTK does have a bit of special utility here. Their members are climbing up in terms of their specials, but with the map advantage that Luau has, they are going to have their work cut out for them in order to break out into Luau's court.
Yeah, 3 down on the side of License to Krill. The Booyah Bomb gets shredded,
Fourth
makes
goes
it
down.
life. Very, very good shredding on the Booyah Bomb, which not a lot of lower level teams do. Shred the Booyah's people. It helps. Tommy forced to use Splashdown, unfortunately drops. It looks like she's going to have to go up onto the sponge. Manages to jump across. Gets 2 down on the side of LTK, but 2 down on the side of Luau. And the gal has armor, so that's not a fight that Kami wants to take, and Kami doesn't recognize it right away, so Ace getting that pick off of her. And now we have a gal fight. Ace ticking off Drift as well. Very, very good there, and he's going to push way up, but he's forced into a Booyah Bomb, and I think he might fall. No, just barely manages to hanging on by his toes there.
Talk about some of those Octo expansion techniques. You gotta stay alive on those rotating platforms, am I right?
Yeah, and then the suction bomb from Thurskit chucked right into a shield sloping wall is what does him in.
Ooh, and 2 down on the side of Luau. License to Krill does have a ooh, and Luau is white. License to Krill has a significant advantage here with both of their specials coming up.
Run it. The Ray is out. That is going to be huge. Greg is flanking around to the right. He's getting chased by somebody. Looks like maybe 2 dualies. Yeah, it was a double dualies trying to take him. And now Bronze is going to try and get a couple more points, and he does. So 33, that is a much, much better lead on this map. Not unbeatable, definitely not unbeatable, especially with 3 down on the side to License to Krill. But still, very good.
Absolutely, what a way to turn it around.
LGX chooses to take a trade there. Good. It delays Luau from getting back into mid, even though they do sacrifice the armor. He's going to charge it up very quickly. Kami really getting a good pick there on Bronze, pushing up faster than he can deal with. 2 down on the side of License to Drill, 2 marked. That's going to be very helpful. Kami almost sliding off the edge there.
Yeah, License to Krill is very quickly losing their map advantage here in mid. It was so beautifully blue, and now it's yellow. Luau did a great way of fighting their way out of spawn despite that wipe, and now they're all the way back in their opponent's court. One does go down on the side of Luau, followed by another, and then the Rainmaker, and Luau is once again light. With 50 seconds left on the clock, they're going to really have to fight their way out of spawn. The Rainmaker is all the way in License to Krill's court. They're gonna have to fight for access to that thing.
Yeah, right now where it is not a super bad position for LTK to kind of hold. Is it a bit risky since it's so far into their court? Yes. But also, it is hard to access, and they choose to leave it up there and let it reset regularly. That's good for them. It keeps them on a time grab. So you can see one person jumped out. That's probably going to be Bronze. He's going to try and get that Stingray as fast as possible.
Pushing.
Luau, though, pushing up, trying super hard to make something happen. 3 down on the side of LTK. So Greg is going to have to really delay his team. They are running it. Oh, and they just barely managed to get the lead.
Fantastic. What an overtime push from Luau. They did go down with that Rainmaker, but then they popped it again and kept pushing. They said, we don't care if you pick our Rainmaker holder. We're going to keep fighting for this push. It is the final 30 seconds of the match, and Luau does pull the win from LTK.
That was just really down to the wire there. If Luau had not managed to get that 3 down, it would have been License to Krill's game. We would have been seeing Splatoon on Chelmdorf.
Absolutely. What a fantastic job that Luau did shutting that down and said, no, we want to take this set in a clean sweep. Sorry, LTK. LTK did a fantastic job on that match, though. They really wanted to prevent Luau from taking that win and setting themselves up for a reverse sweep. So it was a fascinating Rainmaker match to watch.
Yeah, so props to Luau for taking that win. Good job, LTK. You fought hard. And obviously, making top cut, Great White Bracket, nothing to sneeze at.
Absolutely. Fantastic matches on both sides.
We are going to go to a short break to kind of swap people in and out, get some new commentators, since you guys are probably tired of hearing the two of us talk. But before we go, Gep, where can the good people find you?
Oh, hi. Yeah, my name is Skep. You can find me at Twitter at Skepadillions. You can also find me on Twitch under the same name.
And then I am Chad's Shadow Dragon 42 on Twitter, Ivy underscore Chad's Ivy underscore on Twitch. You've probably seen me in the Twitch chat already. It's been great commentating. We'll be right back with some fresh faces to hear for you guys to listen to.
Absolutely.
So don't go anywhere. We're watching SOS.
And welcome back to SOS 35. I am Imed. Joining me is X-Ray, and we'll be viewing the next team we have. Not a Project versus Rising Matrix. Should be a excellent matchup to be sure.
Yeah, for sure. Skimming through the bracket, both of these teams have like had a clean showing, just not counting pools round 2, I believe, where they went 2-1 each. But outside of that, they've been just pushing through with the constant 3-0s. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun set to watch for sure.
Yeah, both of the teams are honestly very well stacked. I am not as familiar with Not a Project, but Rising Matrix I've encountered in League a couple of times, and whoo boy, they can sure put in the work.
Alrighty, well, hopefully we'll see that here.
First up, we got Clambless on Humpback Pump Track. Ooh. Very interesting. We have a Bamboo on the side of Rising Matrix and a Charger on Not a Project. This is interesting with Humpback just because of its very topsy-turvy terrain.
Yeah, for sure. Outside of that, both teams are running pretty mobile weapons, which is definitely important in a mode like Clan Blitz, given the nature of the mode being very proactive.
Absolutely. So we got one down for both teams so far. Very much just looking for some paints and some clams to begin with. Looks like none of the pods have yet spawned in, so this is slow and steady so far.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're still in a very neutral state. Definitely trying to find the opportunity here. Oh, and Latios gets taken down here. We do see an opportunity providing itself, missiles going off, Inkjet potentially to follow, but not quite.
Yeah, Inkjet is online, ready to go, but it looks like they're opting to go for the Power Clam first. They did have 2 down for Not a Project, and so Rising Matrix is getting some nice map control through mid, with 1 Power Clam plus it's like 8 regular clams to follow up with.
Yeah, but they do have to work fast though, because like, as you can see here, Not a Project does have some specials off the rip here, and yep, Rising Matrix was definitely able to counter that. So now it's just contesting for mid here. Matrix does have the slight advantage, having the Power Clam, and they might be able to sneak a goal here, but not quite.
It looks like the Charger says no and shuts down that Power Clam, trying to sneak in from the right there. And 2 down for Rising Matrix. It looks like it's going to be turning yellow for the map.
Yeah, judging how the first 2 minutes here have went, like the first push is seeming to be like a very crucial one, because it's very hard to determine who's has the upper hand of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Clan Blitz, it can be either slow moving throughout the game, just both teams trying to fight for control, and that's what we see here, or we just see a quick knockout. But I don't think we're going to be seeing any quick knockout anytime soon.
Yep, so we do see our first score here, but however they do have missiles and armor to counteract this. However, Not a Project does get the score down to 65, and it's continuing.
Yeah, the Splash Shot holding their own very well, keeping that basket open as their teammates bring in some more clans, but I think that's going to be almost a wipe. And Rising Matrix shutting down the push and pushing back out themselves. But yeah, 47 is not something to sneeze at. It's going to be quite a few power clams of their own to get back in the lead.
Absolutely. So right here we're just seeing Violet here just trying to contest mid and trying to gain as much map control as possible, providing an opportunity for their teammates.
For sure. 2 power clams for Rising Matrix. They're feeling their way out, trying to get some footing.
Very smart missiles there to take out the backline, which is one of like the main threats to covering the basket. They do manage to get a score, but not enough to take a lead, just quite. And
unfortunately, yeah, both of their intercepts went down in the push, and then Not a Project to be able to take back map control before they can get any more clams in. But they still held on to that 1 power clam, and they were able to produce 1 more, so they still have quite a few eggs in their basket for the next push. very back and forth across this hump. Latio's putting in a lot of work, but unfortunately goes down. And this might be another push for Rising Matrix if they can get past that charger.
Yeah, this gameplay we're seeing is it's like very safe on both ends. Like no one's really overcommitting too much, so it's very hard to find an opening.
Definitely a lot of respect for the opposing teams. Ooh, but this might be a lot of points on the board indeed. Down to 28, although 3 down for Rising Matrix, with the last one trying to get a few more clams in. And that's going to be a delayed wipe. And Naja Project able to take back map and quite a few clams of their own.
Yeah, but this game is not over yet. As we can see, there's 2 power clams on the side of Not a Project. So even if one of the players were to go down, they're still going to easily take this into overtime. So,
for sure.
And that being said, they do get the first power clam in. They do, however, need to get a few more in, plus that power clam, but unfortunately they were not able to. And unfortunately, that looks like that's going to be it. A good attempt from Not a Project, though.
Indeed, it got down to the wire. They unfortunately just ran out of time. But that's a good first match for Rising Matrix. It was definitely very back and forth, just trying to hold mid. I think with Humpback, it can be difficult to find footing, I think, again, because of the odd terrain.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the nature of the map played into that, for sure. Going into the next game, though, we do have Starfish main stage. So,
Ooh, Rainmaker on Starfish main stage. Now, this particular map doesn't change too much with the Rainmaker mode, but it is quite the map to be sure. As far as I know, there's 2 different paths that they can choose to take. The more riskier path up above, make the jump, or right up the ramp down the main street, I think. I'll be curious to see which way each teams choose to take.
yeah, for sure. Trying to think. I feel like the special picks here will definitely differ. Missiles are still pretty strong in this map mode, especially whenever you're trying to push up to that last ramp right before the goal. That tends to be like a very quite the choke point in a way. So having something to like alleviate that that pressure, I guess you could say, will definitely be important. Of course, this is one of the maps where getting pop is very important. First pop very important. So we could be seeing some bomb spam. We could be seeing Sploosh 7, very high DPS weapons, and who really knows? So yeah.
Now, this is not quite the same as this map is on zones, but they do. One thing each team will have to look out for is both of the flanks on this map. One are looking the wrong way, and it'd be quite easy to get a wipe just by coming around from one of the sides if they're not careful. One's again, as opposed to zones, is not quite as much king of the hill as it is just trying to run the gauntlet, because there's quite a few places for defenders to sit up above, where the defenders will have to sneak past.
Absolutely, it definitely goes against the typical way you play this map as to other modes, where it's in other modes you don't push that much farther past the street, perhaps, but like this mode, like like you're kind of forced to. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully this should be starting soon. We did have a bit of an issue getting the game started, so momentarily.
I do think we'll be seeing the charger come back out for at least, I think it was Not a Project, it was playing it, but I'm curious to see if the Rising Matrix will bring out a backline. From what I've seen, they had a very, like you said, a very mobile, very aggressive comp, even with the midline bamboo, they had a lot of mobility. I think with Rainmaker, it tends to be more mobility-focused map or mode.
Oh yeah, for sure, I agree. Yeah, filler talking points is very hard, I will say. I do apologize for the wait.
I think we can start to see those Tetra duels come back out again. They were putting in, from what I've seen, they were putting in a lot of work with those. But I think this is finally going into the next match. I think, as you said, it's going to be crucial to get that first pop. But I think we see double Squelcher, one for each of the teams. I suppose I should have expected that. Squelcher with Stingray is very handy for Rainmaker, as much as I hate to admit.
Yeah, and we do see on both NZAPs running last ditch effort on the side of Rising Matrix, which is going to be very, very good. Which is going to be a very good safety net for whenever they're at a deficit, providing the double bomb and ink efficiency to their utility. It's going to be very important.
Just trying to keep that map control, especially when they're being on defense. Looks like Rising Matrix is going to be picking it up first. I wasn't quite sure who got the pop. Unfortunately, the Stingray has been used, so there's not quite as much holding for defense. But the Squelcher is able to take out the Rainmaker.
Yeah, unfortunately, this whole sequence of events, Not a Project hasn't been able to withstand like having three or more teammates alive in the past like minute or so. So it's definitely been proven to be an issue for them.
For sure. Although as we see, they're doing quite well holding the Rainmaker at bay here, able to dig their heels in the ground and just play defense, keeping them from getting that knockout. So they'll have a chance to at least push back out and make a push of their own.
Yeah, as we saw a few moments ago, Rising Matrix was initiating that Stingray for the push, but Not a Project being able to counter right away with their own, allowing them to get to where we are now, where they're now on the push. And very, very nice shark from, I can't read the name, I'm sorry, the NZAP there.
Yeah, the NZAP at a crucial point there, making sure the Rainmaker can't get too far before it gets splatted. But it looks like we have a Stingray online for both sides.
Yeah, which is
and
to
then
be
missiles
expected.
are going out. It would be easier to count when the Stingray is not online rather than when it is at this point.
Right, very true. Yep, still, as we're saying right here, like, just having, like, a lot of lethal bombs is very, very strong. And Rainmaker in general, getting those quick pops, even without having Last Ditch in effect.
And we have the armor going out, able to push out and get 2 down for Rising Matrix. It looks like Not a Project's going to be able to make some sort of push once again, but the Stingray comes out from Rising Matrix.
Yeah, Not a Project definitely playing a bit out of desperation here. Both pushes, like the Rainmaker carrier has definitely pushed in on their own, and the rest of the team hasn't been fully prepared to like follow and lead. So hopefully they'll make that adjustment pretty accordingly, as they have 2 minutes left on the clock and they still have a lead to catch up on.
For sure, it is pretty important to be able to push up ahead of the Maker on this map. There's not too many places where it can go where it won't be spotted.
Absolutely. Ooh, and unfortunately you missed out on a triple here, but having 2 picks is still very strong for having that rebound and being able to readjust and...
Yeah, Rising Matrix unfortunately going 2 down. That'll be the end of that push. But then they come right back and bring 2 down for Not a Project, able to get right back at it again. And definitely this double NZAP is coming in handy, keeping that map control and bomb pressure up.
Yeah, I think something like a certain takeaway from the comp in particular is having double NZAP. While they're not like the best at killing necessarily in like a 1v1 environment, they both like pair together. They provide a lot of paint, making it very hard for the opposing teams to approach any of them. in conjunction with that mobility that they both have. So yeah, that's definitely going into play.
Being able to apply some good teamwork, you know, the double land zap is, like you said, be able to paint for their teammates, but also getting some chip damage of their own, especially with the range and the fire rate. Looks like there was. I couldn't tell if that was an attempt to push for Not Attractive for Rising Matrix, but looks like Not Attractive is going to be pushing back in again with 2 specials online, a Stingray and a Splashdown. None so far for Rising Matrix, except we do see some missiles go online.
If we do see the Stingray go off, doesn't seem like we get any picks here. However, they do force some teammates off the very defensive positions, but that Stingray on Matrix's side is going to close it out.
Delayed wipe in the last few seconds, that was very unfortunate. We're 2 up for Rising Matrix.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what potential changes they can make, not necessarily with comp, but with like a particular playstyle. I feel like there's like a kind of like a desync in communication in some ways, where you'll see, as we saw like early on, whenever like Not a Project picked up the Rainmaker initially, like the first 2 or 3 times, there half the team was on the page of like pushing it like right away, and the rest of the teams weren't quite ready yet, and they were very stagnant. And then it like kind of flowed over to the later half of the map where there wasn't a lot of initiation from their side, and it was a very static gameplay. So
Agreed. I think if they had a little bit more patience from the earlier in the match, they probably would have been able to get a better push off, like you said. I agree. They did have too much of the Rainmaker trying to push up on its own without as much teammate support leading the way.
Yeah, for sure. But maybe they won't have to necessarily make that change for Wahoo zones. It tends to favor, as we all know, long-range weapons kind of rule the map. Once you get the picks necessary, it's very hard for the losing team to like come back in, having to drop down from such a high place onto like a very unsafe position. So yeah, a lot of coordination is going to be necessary here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
something a little more static like zones or tower control definitely is a favorite for teams with who like to favor an anchor, such as the Splat Charger we see here, and also an E-leader for Rising Matrix. But it's definitely not quite as volatile as Rainmaker or Clams. So it's slightly different strategies going into here. Maybe we'll see a turnaround in how the match goes.
Very early pick. And you do get an early armor off as well to follow up potentially. Ooh, but not quite. 2 down on the side of Not a Project, but they do have the zone, getting that initial lead.
It's 3 down, still have the zone. That Charger is putting the pressure on, making them wary of getting in too close.
Yeah, this was a very good retake, considering the weapons that were left to, well, retake. Because Nada's really having to rely on teammates to paint ahead, and so they could follow through. And having a leader is not the greatest at doing that, but they did manage to pull it off. They do get lead here.
Indeed. And ooh, that's 3 down for Rising Matrix, but they're still able to hold the zone with the 1 man they have left, at least for the time being. I saw several specials went online for Not a Project, and they were able to push back in, take that zone. We'll see if... I thought maybe perhaps we had a little bit of a flank going on that right side. We'll see if... my eyes are just playing tricks on me.
It happens, it happens. Yeah, but
Green
going
like back again.
For sure. Yeah, so this game is already like much more back and forth, very close as opposed to the last game here. Not a Project still pushing this lead, very strong here. I don't recall seeing. Oh yes, it is Rising Matrix with the last ditch effort. So I believe that is in effect. for both NZAPs here. So we will be seeing a lot of bombs from here on out.
That's going to certainly come in handy. And they're doing a pretty decent job of locking down the zone to make sure that not a project can get back in. We do see armor and missiles going back out, and the Nautilus going down for Rising Matrix.
Yeah, so you see, how they were positioned here, Rising Matrix, where there was one NZAP trying to cover the left side. However, majority of not a practice team was pushing in through their plat, so they were able to take this zone here pretty easily.
That is a good point. Rising Matrix was a little bit divided, trying to cover all their bases, but not a practice focused all their efforts on taking that plat and were able to spearhead their way to the zone and take it back. They're already to the end of their penalty, almost through it, and then looks like Rising Matrix takes it right back.
Yep, but not for long, it seems.
This is definitely going to be very back and forth. Unfortunately, the E-leader goes down for Rising Matrix, and Not Practice able to hold the zone. This Kensei Gluga is just keeping the fizzies to hold them back. Nautilus is trying to find some sort of footing to get in and get a few picks, but unfortunately it's just they're getting a little bit outranged with the bombs and the charger watching them. That was an unfortunate pop, and that's a wipe against Rising Matrix. This might be game.
Yep, and that looks like to be it here. And this is the prime position here where you see, well, too late to comment on, but yeah, the position where you'll see Rising Matrix coming from spawn, trying to push back in from their plat. However, not a project having all of the map control they could ever need, especially having like the Glugas. While they didn't have like the range, they did have Glugas to fall back on, aka the Fizzy Bomb. So
and that was an excellent snipe by the charger right at the end there.
Yep, so it's not quite over yet for Not a Project.
Next up we have one of my favorite tower control map modes. Tower control on Piranha Pit. It's going to be another charger or just backline in general friendly map mode.
Absolutely, and if Rising Matrix does keep the orange NZAP, that definitely will play a role, because the steps coming from spawn is a very common position you'll see, especially after whenever you're having to defend the second and third checkpoints, I believe. So like being able to come back or like cover your bases in that particular position is going to be very important. And missiles, as versatile it is, it'd be crazy not to stick with it.
I am curious though, with this, with it being tower control, whether they'll stick with the E-leader on Rising Matrix. So this, I think they were pulling Bomb Rush on the Splat Charger on Not a Project, but they might swap out for the Stingray on this particular map.
Yeah, I feel like either one could work, just given the layout. But Stingray is typically a bit more reliable with most players. So we'll see for sure.
I do feel like the duelies are going to have a fun time. When you get to that first and second checkpoint, you have the attacking team trying to defend from under the ledge, and that tends to favor the Tetra duelies fairly well.
Yeah, the dualies definitely can abuse that spot, like right below the drop. Being able to stall out as much as it can. Since like for the opposing team, it's already hard enough to shoot a Tetra duelie, but like it's even harder trying to shoot from like that such a weird angle from a higher ground. So, yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, we should be starting here pretty soon. And yeah, Game 4 should be pretty interesting.
Now I will say now I know Stingray is a tower control favorite, but my personal favorite, it would be the Booyah Bomb. I think specifically for this map in particular, there's a lot of wide open space, and having that Booyah Bomb just adds a little bit of extra, I guess it paints a little bit wider area, and so adding a little bit of paint, a little bit more pressure, and also being able to keep opponents off the tower.
That is something to consider for sure, but we will see what the teams here consider now as we're starting Game 4.
Super excited going into Game 4. We have pretty similar comp to last time and no charger whatsoever except for maybe the bamboo. Very interesting.
Yeah, so we don't see the orange zap, but we do see case shot in replacement to that. So we still stick to the missiles. However, they do have like a slightly better bomb for the tower. Auto bomb and suction bomb perform roughly the same, I'd say personally. But case shot is generally more reliable in terms of kill times and whatnot, so that'll definitely play a role here. But we can see here, Not a Project being very quick with the initial take on objective, and we already see like so much pain on Matrix's side, so they're rocking with the momentum.
Yeah, they're cruising along, already getting to the second checkpoint, and Rise of Matrix has not been able to touch the tower just yet. I was just realizing with the bamboo and the case shot, Rise of Matrix just rocking double missile along with their armor and inkjet.
Yeah, double missile is very, very strong for defense, very strong for scouting, and having the inkjet armor combo is also very good to couple with the special combos. So
for sure. I have to say that the missiles are going to be the bane of that Squelcher's existence. as a backlighter myself, I know that pain. Rise of Matrix is trying to get to that first checkpoint, but the glues are coming in and making it very difficult for them. Missiles are coming out, but 2 down for both teams actually. Ooh, that's 3 down for Not Attractive, the only junior remaining. Rise of Matrix is going to try to push that first checkpoint once again.
Yeah, even though we commented on the versatility of the special layout for Matrix here, Not a Project isn't very lacking behind in that department. Not necessarily with specials, however, they do have double armor, which won't play too much role. It's just more so to like withstand any oncoming forces, as well as again, as we mentioned earlier in Wahoo, those fizzy bombs are very, very good for defense, very non-committal and whatnot. So very, it's going to be very useful to take some free space and defend from a safe range.
For sure, the fizzy bombs, they got the explosive damage, but they don't quite act like a bomb you'd think a bomb should act. Looks like the K-shot's going down. Rise of Matrix... Oh no, we're going the opposite direction now. I've not been keeping up. 3 down for Not a Project. It looks like they're trying to get a push off once again, but Rise of Matrix is going to be pushing back in for their own push. Inkjet is online. Double missiles are online. They're very well stacked for this next push.
Yeah, the Nas is very ready for this next push. So it's just a matter of having the objective push as quickly as possible, which it is. Inkjet pushing opponents back in spawn. Definitely get a pick there. And then they're chasing this case shot here to manage to get the pick. The Stingray, though, is definitely going to stop the push momentarily. So this could be doable still. And we do see armor pop off from the Project side. Do see bombs coming off. Everyone's jumping in. It's too close to call. I'm not sure. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's 3 down for Not the Project. Though that double missile inkjet combo really kept them in spawn for the longest time. They were not able to get out and defend that tower. And they're already past that third checkpoint. Any closer and they would be the knockout.
Yeah, they do manage to get some picks, but it's going to be very, very tough to come back from here. As we see, there's a lot of orange paint on the map. The bamboo's still alive. They do have missiles on lock. So it's going to be very, very difficult. However, we do see armor missiles coming from Project's side. Particularly see a push. It's hard to see from this camera in particular, but it's fine. Yep, we do see
those missiles.
Yep. Like, what else can you do, right? But yeah, we do see Stingray coming in, trying to push the people back from the steps. And we do see the K-shot pushed up, getting that pick on the bamboo, which is going to be very important. However,
very nice take indeed. But unfortunately, they were delayed from that push.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was something that had happened with the tower where they were forced to get off, so they didn't get as much value, unfortunately.
Get some progress though. They're about to push their points up just a bit, but the junior goes down. Armor's coming out. Three squids on tower, and oh, unfortunately, Rising makes sure they're able to tap that tower, and they are able to take this set. I have to say that was a very impressive showing for both teams on that last match there. Very back and forth until the very end.
Yep, absolutely. I do apologize for leaving you hanging there. I do have some background noise going on, so I'm trying to not let that carry over to the stream here. But yeah, that was a very, very close set for sure. Rising Maker's definitely able to pull through, but definitely not a bad showing from another project.
I think if they were able to take that tower control set and take it to a game 5, Rise and Matrix, from what I've seen from the first 2 matches, they do have the aggression and the mobility pretty well down. And then, like you said, the coordination for the Rainmaker push was definitely in Rise and Matrix's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough feat regardless, win or lose for that game. So, yep. But yeah, let's see here. Going through tabs like crazy.
I think we might have a short break until the next set.
I believe so, but looking at the bracket, it looks like both teams are ready, so it probably won't be too much of a break.
So in other words, if you gotta go, make it quick.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to miss this next match.
Alright, and welcome back to SOS 35. Just in case y'all are just coming in, I'm X-Ray, joined by IMAD. And we're in Grand Finals, folks. We got... I'm gonna botch the name, so I'm just gonna go with LUKAAAS with versus Rising Matrix, which we saw not too long ago. But yeah, any thoughts, IMAD?
Well, Grand Finals is going to be a heck of a show. I am very excited to see this. It's going to be best of 7, so lots of Splatoon to look forward to. There was a... Oh, whoa, we're jumping right into it. Rainmaker on Black Belly Skate Park. This is going to be, like I said, a fun matchup. Black Belly Rainmaker, one of the few maps that actually changes completely when it goes into the Rainmaker mode. Very, very open. You don't have that tower in the middle. It looks like the LUKAAAS are going to get the pop right off the bat.
Yeah, so very interesting comps on LUKAAAS' side. Very special spam heavy. We saw a special charge on like I believe it was like the zap, one of the zaps in like or not. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the teams wrong. I believe it was the Flings and the Charger. Or wow, I'm getting my names mixed up really bad. The Flings and the Jet, and as well as having a Junior on hand.
Yeah, we got armor, inkjet. I think that's missiles, and the Stingray with the jet squelcher. Like I said, we have lots of missiles, lots of Stingray coming out. Speaking of Stingray, Rising Matrix popping their own, trying to put some pressure back. The Rainmaker has reset, and there's like a lot of blue on the map. I say that, and then LUKAAAS is taking the Rainmaker pop once again, turning that middle into yellow.
Yeah, both sides popping specials here. No picks on either side. However, LUKAAAS does get the Rainmaker. They might have to be forced to go left, but look, they are taking it through mid. Mid's typically like the better route for quicker points, but that might be cut short with the Stingray. But however, the counter rate does come into play here.
Yeah, that
it's very tough. It's very tough. So it's just a matter of just trying to get as much points as possible.
That counter rate coming in the nick of time, and as you said, the down the middle or down the right is typically either the quicker and also the safer path to take. Especially when you have a Stingray in play, it's just you get in that half pipe. There's not much maneuvering room.
So we see more. Yep. So we see more missiles going out, just trying to ensure control on blue teams here. They did try to take the half pipe, but LUKAAAS' Stingray was very quick and very ready to prevent that from or at least stalling it out enough. This Rainmaker is still alive here. Nautilus coming from behind, pops an inkjet, getting 2 down. Potentially a
nice
third,
pick.
And that is a white.
An excellent play by the the Nautilus coming out of the inkjet flank, taking out the Rainmaker as well as one other member before the rest of the team goes down. Oh, if he's not careful, the chicken there, he might get taken down himself. Yellow's pushing back in. There was some strong defense from Rising Matrix, keeping them at bay. Like 3 down for the LUKAAAS. That's going to be end of the push, and this Rising Matrix pushing back out and picking up the Raker to try this half pipe once again. Now I say that, and they just learn from their ways and are going to be taking the middle path, trying to get some more points. But the Stingray comes out and once again takes down the Rainmaker. 2 down for Rising Matrix, but the inkjet is online, so they will be able to at least keep some ground.
The Rising Matrix only having an ink. Oh, and the Stingray just popped up. I was just gonna. I just got played there. I was gonna comment how they didn't have a proper special ready, but they sure did.
This Jet Squelcher really putting in some work, coming around the back, taking out the Stingray, and almost getting the pick on the Nautilus. Unfortunately, they are forced to back up, but not before they're able to get some map turf down on Rising Matrix side of the map. Look like Stingray's online, going to be coming out pretty soon. Yep, here it comes. Going to be trying to take out that Rainmaker. 1 down for either side, but the Inkjet for Rising Matrix trying to put some pressure on the other Nautilus. Because of the there's a lot of maneuvering room, a lot of places to hide, but without that tower in the middle, it just becomes a very wide open space. Those jet sponsors are really coming in handy with that extra range.
So the last minute here, we do have armor popping off here. Wasn't able to protect the Nautilus here. There's a counter armor to capitalize off of. Just barely missed the Rainmaker, so it's going to definitely take a little bit of extra time here. Time is very important in these last 30 seconds. We don't have many specials on Matrix's end, so it's going to be a lot of painting. However, without the picks, it's going to be very hard to get in. That being said, they do have 3 specials ready. Oh, and the Nautilus is down. Rollers is down.
They're getting down to the wire, and that jet squelcher is still alive with that inkjet, or no, that not the inkjet, the Stingray ready to go.
Yeah, they have to get moving right away because they do have a GG Ray on the side of Lucas. And yep, that's unfortunately going to be it for Matrix for game 1. But we still got a few games to go, so it's not quite set in stone just yet.
Now, the Lucas had a very excellent push right at the beginning, able to get the ground they needed and then hold out for the rest of the match, but honestly, it was pretty back and forth as far as map coverage went. I think if Rise and Matrix had a little bit more time, they might have been able to do something with it.
And before we get into discussing the next games here, just for those who aren't aware, we do have a link for donations for any future IPL tournaments that you want to donate to. So we do have, I believe we have a command for that in chat even. So if that's something you're interested in, we really appreciate it. Also, we are doing staff applications as well for production as well as commentary. So it's not, if the donation thing isn't your thing, or maybe it is, if you're interested in applying, rather, for either or, you could apply for as many roles as you want. Just you'll have to, I believe you have to submit multiple forms for that. But yeah, yeah, staff applications, donations, and yeah.
Indeed, we will take all the support we can get. Now, if you're looking to catch some more action or participate in the action yourself, we do have some more tournaments run by the Inkling Performance Lab. Namely, we have the Testing Grounds 21 this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific time. Testing Grounds is IPL's bi-weekly tournament that runs a Swiss into Top Cut format with different twists every rendition. This week's rendition is Interesting Maps, and by interesting we mean bad. Be on the lookout for your least favorite maps such as Mori Towers and Arawana Mall. Be sure to sign up on Discord for more information.
That being said, we're going into the games here. Zones on Anchovy. We see an E-leader. I did see some people in chat commenting on that, so good thing for those people. I'm not particularly fond, but that's a whole other thing.
I do find it interesting. Dave Lucas is running the E-leader, but as opposed to what we've seen in the past, Rise of Matrix is running a Splat Charger. One with the Firefin in particular with Bomb Rush and the Splat Wall.
Yeah, so as we saw a few moments ago, the Nautilus trying to push up the fan into their street. It didn't work out too well. However, they do have a zone anyways. It's now
stuck in the corner. This looks going to be zone for De Lucas. Really pushed up. A lot of green on the map. Rise of Matrix is definitely going to have to get some specials together to push out.
Yeah, Violet just trying to missile, forcing them off their street, just allowing them some breathing room. We do see the Nautilus pop an Inkjet trying to push up a bit. However, it didn't work out too well as they had an armor to counter it.
Being taken down by the Junior. The Junior just trying to keep zone and overall map control for the side of De Lucas. Flankset goes down as well as the NZAP for Rising Matrix. Charger is trying to get a pick. And unfortunately, the Splat Charger goes down for Rising Matrix.
Yeah, so Matrix was able to get zoned, but not for too long. whole first portion of the match, it's just been very hard to stay alive for Matrix. We've been often seeing some single picks, which has been proven very difficult to deal with for them.
One of the unfortunately with this map, once you get a hold of mid, it's very easy to shark around the corners and under the ledges, make it very difficult for the defending team to push back in. But we do see an excellent pick from the Inkjet there, taking out the Junior and able to get that zone right back. That Nautilus is trying to get some aggression in, push up and take down the Splat Charger. The missiles are pushing him back from the Flingza. We'll see if he's able to hold back the zone, but unfortunately it goes back to green. Nautilus versus Nautilus. Rising Maker's able to stay alive and just come back. Oh, we have the Inkjet battle. A nice pick once again by the Inkjet. Rising Matrix able to hold out and get that zone right back. And we have Cephalus from Rising Matrix pushing up, putting pressure on the Splat Charger. But we do see some bombs coming out from the LUKAAAAS.
Ooh, and the Charger did manage to get the pick there. With Respawn Punisher, that's going to be really big. It's going to just make it hard for Matrix to keep up this push. However, they are still kicking just a little bit, not just quite to maintain zone.
Yeah,
However, they're
put quite the penalty on DeLucas's time there, so they're going to have to hold out for a little bit longer.
Absolutely. So they're now trying to harass the leader here from that pillar. Very strong position to hold. If the backlines are positioned that far back, they can't really cover that backside as well.
Ooh, but that's 3 down for DeLucas with only the E-leader remaining. And I think Rising Matrix is finally going to be able to get a foothold in the defense.
But the greed.
Nice pick.
This is going to be, it's tough. I normally wouldn't agree to that pick on, or charging that E-leader there, but with the Nautilus already charging, the ends up had to have followed. So they potentially could have held a little bit stronger here, but they're still in a pretty good spot.
Indeed, two go down for Rising Matrix, and it ends up just able to hold the zone for a little bit longer, but yeah, DeLucas are right back where they started.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock to be very tough for Rising Matrix here to make a comeback. But we do see an attempt nonetheless. They're not out. They're not giving up just yet. We do see 2 coming from the left side here. This is going to be potentially their last push, or last attempt of a push. Oh, and right before he was able to pop armor, he managed to get picked by the leader here.
That was indeed unfortunate, but he was able to get the zone before he went down, so that added a little bit of extra penalty to DeLucas's.
Yeah, but even then, there's 4 weapons versus an Inkjet and a Charger for paint. It's tough. That last E-leader kill on the NZAP pretty much ensured it. I felt like there were just some minor mistakes that were made on Matrix's side whenever they managed to hold the advantage, and they're punished brutally for it, unfortunately. But it happens.
That was indeed unfortunate. Anchovy zones is definitely, I would say, is an odd, or is a difficult map to, I guess, get out of spawn from, especially when you have quite the foothold like DeLucas did in that last match.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they were tending to trickle apart pretty frequently. They weren't able to they did manage to do in some cases where they're able to push back altogether, but it was too little too late. Very early on they were taking their own fights, and yeah, those delayed wipes were just very, very tough to deal with.
For sure, and they did have some pretty impressive pushes with their specials. Some spectacular plays with the Inkjet, but like you said, they were staggered a little bit too much, and so DeLucas were just able to keep a little bit more paint on the ground at any given time.
absolutely. But moving on to game 3 here, we got Tower Snapper. I'm curious to see if we'll see the E-Leader stick around. Any charger pretty much does fine here. E-Leader, namely, does really well contesting like the opposing team's street, though it's not particularly as important as it is in other modes. So yeah, it's just to consider. But yeah, we're going on to game 3.
Well, I have to say, like, nothing really beats a good Rapid Blaster, but E-Leader is scary on this map. Like, there's hardly anywhere they can't reach.
Absolutely. Yep, and that being said, we do see it come back into play. Double end zap on the side of Matrix here. Pretty interesting pick.
And often go with the Bamboo instead of the Splat Charger this time. Probably going for that little bit of extra mobility along with the double end zap. Once again, keeping the Nautilus on either side. Not too much comp changes on the side of the LUKAAAS, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, as we see the Bamboo and the Nautilus here trying to claim this hill. Very important position to hold in pretty much all the maps. It's like the second best thing as opposed to like mid and like, of course, pushing up into their base, obviously. But yeah, it just allows access to the street here, as we saw. The Nautilus getting picked here, but not for what it was worth. They do get the lead here, or not? Well, yeah, they do get the lead. They do get the objective, and yeah, so it's working out pretty well.
As it does give them access to that street there, but it also is in direct line of the tower path, so it puts them at an incredible defense to make sure they can't push out. And that's a wipe for DeLucas with Rising Matrix going on to the second checkpoint. Going for a strong setting, or showing in the first few seconds of this game.
Yeah, this must be some sort of comfort pick, because this is a whole other team we're looking at here.
Although they do go 2 down before they can... Actually, no, they do get that second checkpoint. And this E-Leader, unfortunately, gets bumped into the water. You
hate to see it on stream. It happens, it happens. But moving on, we do see DeLucas on the offense now, but they do get picked pretty quickly. Yeah, and that's going to reset.
Unfortunately, they were too many squids down to do much with the tower, but they're coming right back out and so far able to keep a lot of their map control with a lot of specials coming out for DeLucas.
Yep, so 2 down on the side of Matrix here, so they can't really commit to a push just yet. However, it's not the worst thing in the world. Bamboo's close to missiles here. Bamboo's very, very good at like stalling, given its one-shot potential and very long range. So they're still in a very good spot.
Absolutely, and having gone through 2 checkpoints already, they're able to play a little bit slower game at this point and just make sure they don't do anything rash and go 3 down, such as here.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with that, but the Nautilus just snuck its way in, and getting that double was huge, absolutely huge. And having the inkjet to follow up with it is going to be very, very tough to deal with, as we see here.
And we have, looks like armor online for Matrix, but unfortunately with the Nautilus going down, their main source of range and aggression with the inkjet has been put to rest. And this is going to be the lead for DeLucas going on to the last checkpoint.
Yep, the Nautilus just changing the game for them here. The push is over, however, they did manage to get lead out of it. So now Matrix is going to have to try to fight back and hit harder. But given the trend of the set, it's going to be proven to be very difficult.
Now I will say, having a lead before touching the checkpoint is a little bit scary because it's not quite as... It's definitely much easier to get the lead off that rather than trying to push a lead that on top of a checkpoint.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something to consider. I didn't think about it too much. But yeah, it's definitely better to push lead like coming off the checkpoint, because you're more stationary. That second push back, yeah, it's a good point to make.
And the other thing is, when you're at a checkpoint, if you I don't know, get pushed off it before you can get through the rest of it. You basically have to do the entire checkpoint again. Even though you got the points, it's basically redoing a lot of those points once again. So it's just
Yeah,
a
it's
little
as
bit
if
extra time for
like,
defense.
it's as if nothing happened there. Yep. But as we
Okay,
see, Matrix here on the offense here, pushing the objective. We do see the Nautilus watching that snipe area. Try to get any cheeky people from snipe. We do see missiles going off, Inkjet pushing in. Nothing, and armor to fall out is going to be very, very important. Oh, but the Nautilus get in the bamboo right before they
So
cross the
close.
checkpoint, and that's a wipe. This was a
That
very
was so
close game.
unfortunate. I was just about to say, with the armor going out, that one spot in between the checkpoint across the water is definitely scary when you have armor. It can be very easily to get knocked off.
And it's definitely common for that to happen, especially on this map with the water underneath, as highlighted earlier. But I won't further comment on it, as there's already a clip. Thank you, chat. But yeah, going on to game 4, I believe.
We're currently 3 up for DeLucas. A very close game. I was honestly expecting Racing Matrix to bring that back right at the end, but yeah, that was very unfortunate. We have Clan Blitz on Starfish, as you said. Honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Last time...
Or go ahead.
I was going to say, last time Rising Matrix was on Starfish Matrix, they really... I don't know, they put their best foot forward, especially with the Rainmaker, another mode that requires you to go deep into enemy territory.
And I feel like their compositions definitely have the tools required to succeed well in this map. It's just a matter of coordination and outplaying this opposing team here. Proven to be very, very dominant, by the way. They've been absolutely killing it this tourney.
For sure. And as you said, I think it definitely will favor Rising Matrix's more mobile comp with the bamboo. With the, I guess, there's a lot of close quarters when you get further and further into the enemy base, and so a lot more, or I guess the NZAPs are definitely going to have a much better time against the longer range and be able to counter that longer range.
Yep, absolutely. Anyhow, just a little longer until we get into it. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Once again, we are in the grand finals, and unless Rising Matrix can, I don't know, get some matches in and get a reverse sweep, DeLucas has got a good showing for them. They're definitely in the lead.
We'd love to see a reverse sweep, of course, but beggars can't be choosers, so we'll see. But we're going into it now.
I have certainly enjoyed the gameplays we have seen so far. But it looks like we have a bamboo on either side. Interesting.
I think this is the first time we've seen the Tri-Slosher from Matrix tonight. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Double armor, but Tri's armor is not necessarily one you're going to rely on.
It is definitely more of a backup or in-the-moment armor. We have double armor for Rising Matrix, but then we have double missiles for DeLucas with the ever-present inkjet on either side.
Yeah, that being said, DeLucas is just getting such an early wipe here. They're very, very proactive. They got the picks, and they were very quick to follow up with the paint. Their comp, like throughout, it's a very unique comp for sure. Not a lot of shooters, 2 paint-heavy weapons. So it kind of leaves the Nautilus on the killing for most of the time, but like it's been working, and yeah, it's just I guess that's something Matrix is trying to figure out here.
Absolutely.
They do get the score here. However, it was just the power climb, so it's not quite a lead. It's basically a free climb on Matrix's side. They do build a power climb here. I don't necessarily agree. Makes it a little harder to push in, given that, well, the enemy team can just tell and dictate when this push will happen. So there's no potential chance of like flanking and getting a sneaky score or anything like that. That being said, they do get a wipe though, very, very huge. And they do have a
Indeed.
bunch of clans to follow up.
Now, I will say, even though they don't necessarily have the option to do a sneaky flanking with a power climb already made, because they have more power climbs than the enemy team, that is a little bit of passive special they're building there, having that advantage in power clams.
Yeah, that being said, yes, that is the foil. They were playing vanilla earlier, so I just want to double check. But yeah, they were very quick to adjust and get kills right around whenever they scored, so they didn't get as much of a score as they could have, but a lead nonetheless. That being said, Luke is getting a lot of map control here. Matrix's Bamboo contesting here. Oh, and the Nautilus
He's taken down right after he popped his missiles.
Yeah,
Definitely going back and forth.
It's too close to call, but the try seems to be working, like, for sure. It's definitely been, I feel like this has been their best attempt so far. Being able to, like, get these collaterals, being able to contest the Nautilus more directly and punish those more so aggressive plays. It's led to, like, potential, like, almost, you could almost consider this a team wipe, not just quite. But, yeah, they got a team wipe earlier, and it's definitely working out for them. So if they were, even if they don't necessarily get a win off here, it's maybe something they will look at in the future if they ever meet this team again. But that being said, the power cam holder does go down here, and they are set. Lucas is definitely set up the push here. Yep, 2 down, leaving the Bamboo and Nautilus on their own. It's going to be very hard to defend. Oh, and they missed the clam slightly, but I do believe they'll follow. Oh, and the Trislash is there to cover it.
Wow, that was... Man, that was certainly something. The Inkjet making use of the varying levels of this map, using that terrain to really get into their base and put some pressure on, but Rise and Matrix able to hold their ground and just keep them from putting that power climb in. I was gonna say, to your point earlier, the Tri-Slasher definitely seems to be an excellent pick here, able to also utilize that varying terrain and hide under those ledges to, like you say, contest the Nautilus.
Absolutely. But yeah, they're not letting this hinder, or DeLucas isn't letting that failed push really hinder them too much. They're already set to score again. 3 power climbs on there. Yep. They do get the lead there by 10 points. Leaving the junior on their own, so Matrix is definitely going to have to move quick to capitalize on the lack of members on the opponent's side. However, now they have the 2 clans here. Yeah,
they only needed 2 power climbs to take the lead, and we're down to the last 30 seconds. Unless they can really make a strong showing, it's going to be a very close match.
Yep, so we see missiles pop off on the, I forget what this position is called, but the main pillar there right before the goal. Very, very good to force them off that spot, because that's generally like the strongest spot to hold to cover both lanes.
Ooh, we got the armor coming out on both sides, but unfortunately Rising Matrix goes 3 down, and that is a delayed wipe.
Yeah, wipe in overtime, it's pretty much a GG here, unfortunately. Yep, and that'll do it.
I have to say though, this is very fun to watch. It definitely was not, I don't know, very cut and dry from the beginning. It was very back and forth.
Yeah, I feel like on paper, like people who like to spectate these games, they will mostly get dissatisfied with a 4-0, but these games have like had their moments for sure. So it was a very entertaining set nonetheless.
Hardly a single match did not go into overtime.
But yeah, that will conclude the tournament. Congrats to Goldie Lucas. Before we sign off, I'm at, where could they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at iMadGamerII. And where can they find you, X-Ray?
Yeah, so as you see on the screen, X-Ray_M2H3, that's my user for both Twitter and Twitch. I haven't been streaming as much lately, but I'll get around to it. We'll see. But before we sign off here, I just wanted to give a special shout out to a near and dear friend of ours. who recently had a birthday this past week. They go by Garrett. Some of you may or may not know them. They actually do some of the graphic design here for SOS, so something to point out, I guess. They also put out a montage. They actually do some content creation on the side, and so yeah, they had that up for their birthday. So what would I'd like to ask from the audience here? Check out the video. It's a very, very well made video. They do a very good job with editing. As you see, Tumnug put the link there. Just go check that out. Subscribe, maybe. I don't know if they'd want that, but you know, yeah. Just support support Garrett. Yeah, they've been doing like hella work with SOS, and also their editing skills is like beyond insane. So yeah. Definitely go check that out. But
Absolutely.
other than that, I don't really got much else to say. I'm not sure if you do, IMAD. But
I believe that's it. Unfortunately, we've gotten to the end.
yep, it was definitely fun. A little bit of a rocky road for me personally. I'm coming back to commentary after a while, but it was definitely fun. I definitely enjoyed my time, more than I expected. But that being said, this has been SOS 35. I've been X-Ray, joined by IMAD, and yeah, see y'all next time. Peace out.
Good night, everyone.
Sure.